All right. I believe I think I am live. I think I am. Testing 1, 2. I should have done this earlier, but I think we're okay. So, hi. So, our regularly scheduled art block is canceled for tonight. I talked with Enrique, and I guess it just didn't work out for Enrique and Vince, and they were unable to do it. So we canceled our regular art block for tonight. Um, Tomorrow, I'm going to do a live, probably with just Enrique if he's available. He was talking to me a little bit earlier today through chat, and he said he might possibly be able to come in tomorrow. So we'll possibly do a little something tomorrow night. It won't be our formal art block, but we'll chat tomorrow. Tonight is a little bit impromptu. I might open up a couple of drawing programs just to go through a bit of an experiment with them online, and we'll see what we can kind of do with that. And I think I might also have Chris Runciman in here tonight, possibly, if he's available. Oh, I have to give him the. I almost forgot to give him the link. I should probably do that. I wanted to have a discussion. Particularly, I was going to suggest this for the art block for what would have been tonight. Possibly we'll do it next week. But I wanted to talk a little bit about different art programs. This came up because of a little situation with Adobe that came up today. Apparently, if you have an older version of Photoshop, particularly like 20 years old, especially work that's like 20 years old, and you are still online with Photoshop, your Photoshop is still connected online, you lose some of your colors, possibly all of them, if you were using Pantone. This is Pantone's doing. They turned around and decided they wanted to charge for their use of colors through Adobe. And apparently some people opened up some old Photoshop files to find all their colors were black. And they want to charge $21 a month in order to use their color palette. This is Pantone. This is not Adobe. It's just it happens to be through Photoshop because they had an arrangement like 20 some odd years ago. This did not hit anybody. It seems to be if you use Photoshop and you saved your work on your computer, it's fine there. But I guess if you saved it in Adobe's cloud, I think that's where you got dinged. Anyways, this brought up some personal thoughts about using Adobe today because I do have Photoshop. I have Clip Studio and I have Photoshop, and I have another program. I'm drawing a blank on the name. And this is embarrassing. I can't think of the name of it. Oh, and that opened the wrong one. What's it called? Oh my lord. Pixelmator Pro. Because I have these programs, I probably don't need Photoshop anymore. Between them and between that and Krita, which is free, you have pretty much everything you need. Do you really need Photoshop? What does Photoshop bring that these other programs do not? And when it comes down to the end of it, I think for the kind of production that I want to do as an artist to create any kind of work, digital work, you technically don't really need Adobe Photoshop anymore. You don't need Adobe Fresco. There's so much out there and so many other options to be productive and that are good, solid art programs that can increase and speed up your productivity just as well. In some cases, even better than Photoshop, depending on what you're used to. I'm fiddling around here, and I'm going to give Mr. Runciman the code, and if he wishes to join me, if you're out there watching, so I have 0 watchers at the moment, so he's probably not watching because I have nothing. If you're watching, this is probably on a rebroadcast. I can't even talk tonight. Good Lord. As you can see, this is still a mess, and it's even more so than it was before. You'll notice that bookshelf is not there at the moment. I'm still in the process of changing things around in here. I'm starting what I originally wanted, which was to create a bit of an artificial wall on this side. I'm going to be using bookcases to do that. I put one it's that one that you saw behind me. I'm going to have like 3 of them in a row. It's going to create a wall. I've got a new one put together. The other one moved over, so I've got part of it done. I still have to put in a third one right in there. So that is that. But Godzilla 1985 is still with us, and that's all that's really important, isn't it? By the way, if you're a big Godzilla nut like I am, apparently John Carpenter is hosting some kind of special Godzilla event through Shout TV, I believe, because I guess he's a big Godzilla fan, and he's hosting one a night because November 3rd is Godzilla Day, because that was the very first Godzilla movie was shown in Japan on November 3rd, 1954. So November 3rd is kind of Godzilla's birthday. God, he's going to be, what, 68, 69? Something like that. It's getting up there. So I should probably do something for that tomorrow, because I am such a big Godzilla nerd. I should come on and talk about, this is what I'll do for tomorrow night. I have to work, so it'll be a late night stream. My hair's a mess. I do apologize. It'll be a late night stream, but I'll come and I'll talk about, it'll be after midnight, so it'll be November 4th. It'll be the day after. Such is my life. Nothing is on time. I'm ready to celebrate Halloween, and it's all over. Christmas will be probably around January 12th. It's just the way my life goes. Everything is ready after the fact. I can't stay ahead. Anyways, I think maybe tomorrow night I will do maybe a little kind of a Godzilla night, and I'll list some of my favorite movies. And we have Mr. Runciman with us. Look at this. Let's click on this, and we'll add him to the stream. Hello, sir.
Well, good evening, Philip.
Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. I'm going to see if I can turn up the audio a little bit. I can barely hear you. I don't know if that's me or...
Maybe it's my setup. Hold on.
Oh, no, part of it was me, actually. I had my audio way down. I didn't realize it. There we go. You're definitely much, much louder now. Hopefully that doesn't cause some echo, because I got the microphone right here by the computer. It's coming out of the speaker, so hopefully it should be okay.
Is this thing working?
You're coming through loud and clear.
All right. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing not too bad. I'm okay. I'm doing all right.
How's your day gone so far?
Somewhat semi-productive. I had a late night last night. I kind of can't go into all the details online, but there was some issues with all of a sudden I discover at 1 a.m. I've got all these issues to do with my banking and my life insurance. And when I see all this mess that's happening in my account, I had to call and try and get it straightened out. And then I can't sleep because I'm so worked up over it. So I didn't get to sleep till really late, slept in late today. But I did start work on one of my bookshelves. So that's why you notice the one behind me is actually moved over. And I'm sort of building kind of out of the bookshelves will be like another kind of wall going across there with them. So I got one more to put together tomorrow, and then hopefully that'll complete that.
So are these going to be practical bookshelves, or are these going to be practically fun bookshelves?
So
what's the difference between practical and practically fun?
I think I know what you mean. It took me a moment, but I think I know what you mean. There's going to be a little of both, because some of it is to hold my art supplies, and I have lots of little trinkets and toys and things that have been given me over the years that are definitely also going to take up a few of the shelves. I wanted to eventually. I'd like to turn the camera angle so that it picks up part of it, and I'd like it to look a little fancy and entertaining. So, yeah, that'll.
See, I'm surrounded by bookshelves, but of course, I've got all the cameras faced the opposite way. So
opposite way, yeah. What do you do?
At best, you just catch this flat wall where I hang paintings that I'm working on,
right?
Or you get, like behind me, that's a resource shelf. Or if the camera goes this way, there's all kinds of art supplies. But the cool view, the bookshelf view, well, that's over there.
Now on the other side.
I blew it.
Yeah. I took me a while to kind of try and figure this out, because I was trying to think of how I wanted to set this up. And I see these fancy ass art channels like Jazza, who has like this friggin' $1 million studio. but he's got different. I mean, he's been online for like 10 years and has this whole setup. But I was trying to think of something like that, a little more simplified. So when I actually go to, I'd like to actually start making YouTube videos again.
Yeah.
And I can start, if you remember the ones that I was doing before when I was downstairs in the other studio, I'd kind of have it so the camera was facing the opposite direction. And I had a nice kind of setup on the desk. So I would do an intro with the desk and everything behind me and a little thing that'll have like my name on it and whatnot. And then when I'd actually go to the video to do the actual practical part of it, I would turn it around. But I wanted to make sure that whatever direction the camera is, it at least looks organized and somewhat entertaining behind me, if that makes sense.
Well, I've got a couple of cameras set up, and one of my cameras that actually is by the monitor, so it's that way, right?
Right.
So if I turn that on, it picks up what's going on in my corner where I have like silly things on the wall, like a sign that says the seedy part of town and points at me, and
okay.
And I've got one of those light up boards with the letters on it. I think I've told you about this before. Right now it says, "We're gonna make a hot cereal lover out of you." You know, like the commercial from the 70s.
Well,
and
there goes our
then
kettle.
there's an on-air light as well, which I think is super fun. But that's a kettle.
That's a kettle. Yeah. It's the roommate making his tea and he forgot he left it on.
Well, boy, I hope it's a kettle. Otherwise, your neighbor's opera's out of control. Yeah. So I did a page today. I've had a piece I'm working on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this dad character show up for the last few pages, and it's just any opportunity that I can to basically insert little bits of me in there. So it's just dumb. There's dumb dad jokes inserted into my ghost story. Has ridiculous dad statements as he goes to drive the girls home. He's like,
"You tell me about that."
I'm not just Samantha's groovy dad. It's set in the 70s, so his daughter's like, "Oh my god."
So she's like rolling her eyes.
Groovy anymore, dad. So fun little inserts like that, because it tends to be my kind of humor, is just to be out of step, right?
Right.
But you got to have those fun moments. So if you can do that in anything you do, like if you can, whatever your setup is going to be for your studio, I hope that one thing's for sure, and that's that you make sure to have it represent you.
Oh yeah. Oh, it definitely will. That's why I have the Godzilla 1985 poster up there. So.
Oh, there you go. There's a good start.
That's and I've got two others. I just thought I didn't want to make the whole background look like a Godzilla background, just because it would kind of starts misleading the channel a little bit. But I do have like about 4 or 5 prints. Some of them are laminated, some of them are framed. So, but I don't know, I might sort of interchange them or something. I haven't quite figured that out.
Well, you got these you set up those cool lights. I'm curious to see those. So.
I set up the what?
You said you set up the cool fiber optic lights. So I'm curious to see those.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame that once I set the camera up, it kind of cuts them off a little bit. They're off at the moment just because I had to move those shelves over and it blocks the plug at the moment. I have to kind of figure out how I'm going to rework the wiring for that just a little bit. So, but they won't be on tonight. But I do want those to become visible at some point. Eventually,
then you're gonna have to figure out theme music for your show.
Oh yeah, actually, I've been kind of thinking about this. See, I don't know if that might work. Eventually, I want it to kind of see.
I see shelves.
So, and there'll be some things. So you'll see a bit of the shelves and that. So it'll be something like that. So you get kind of the corner of the room. But I don't know if that. Right now, look at that lamp's in the way, and I'm gonna have another. There'll be that. This will move over, and over here, I'm gonna have like another work table.
Nice.
Something in there and there'll be another couple of prints up above it, or
a big billboard that says Carl's House of Fish.
Yeah. Do you know what I actually wanted to look into? I've been trying to find something online because I've seen these at conventions, and do you think I can find anyone who makes them? But
What's that?
I thought it'd be really cool to have something with my logo on it that says Phil Chandler Arts, and
Yeah.
something with like fun lettering that's like a 3D cut of it kind of thing.
So if you go to some place like Staples or something like that, and you have them print out whatever size banner that you need on paper,
Mhm.
then take that, go to someplace that sells foam core,
Mhm.
like a dollar store or something like that. Buy 6-8 sheets of it. Okay, glue those together. Lay your paper on it. Glue it down to that. Cut it out.
So the funny thing is, I
Save yourself
had
hundreds of
something.
dollars.
Yeah, I had something like that before when I had the office downstairs, and I had a little YouTube card that I made, something like that. Oh, and I had something else with my name on it that I had kind of cut out, and it drove me nuts because it was the edges looked awful on it. I did a terrible job of cutting it out. Mind you, I guess you can't really see it that well, but
You cannot
the
see that clearly.
the paper started to over time buckle, and I had it all nice and flat at first, and then over time it started to wrinkle and the edges came off, and I was like, oh, come on. So I thought, maybe, I don't know, should I just flip the bill and get a proper one made if I can find someone who does it, or do I kind of go that route again and just try and do a better job?
All right. You want to know how to do it?
Sure, absolutely.
You go down, okay, walk 3 streets down from where you are right now, turn left twice, right? Then turn left one more time.
Okay.
Walk back 3 blocks. There's a guy there. Wait, no, that's your house. Hold on, let me start again.
The funny thing is we were starting to give directions. Like, does he know where the Staples is here? Because you actually started to give me directions to the Staples. It's actually just down about a few blocks from us. I'm like, okay, so he's telling me to go to Staples.
No, I think I turned you around and sent you home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get any good advice out of me about where to go to any place in your city that you live in.
I might have found one place online that does them in Toronto, so I'm just debating whether or not I want to go through that or not.
It's a long way to walk. It's easier just to go to 3 blocks.
Yeah. I know. And hello, Paul. Paul Pate has joined us.
Hey, hiya, fellas.
How's Paul doing this evening?
It says, well, I just got in a fight with a grizzly bear. It was a hairy situation, that's for sure.
Let me just bring this up.
So Paul might have that delay on his texting again, eh?
Oh, okay.
So what other designs have you got for your studio space? You want to put up some posters? Maybe there's something that you can do with your lighting, right? Mm-hmm. To register it around your bookshelf, right? To line it around the top of your bookshelf, come up and then line it around the back of the desk, because those are things that are going to be relatively in camera. And then that way.
That crossed my mind. I'll have to find a way, and I was thinking about that a little bit this afternoon, but I was trying to find a way of, if that would work around the bookshelf, plugging it in, wiring, that kind of thing. So that's kind of crossed my mind. So Paul says he's falling asleep. Just drew a picture, and now he's spent.
Nice. Well,
you're getting old when drawing actually wears you out.
What's that?
You're getting old when drawing a picture wears you out.
I have not discovered that yet.
I think I'm slowly getting there. But I should see if I can move back in this. I was gonna, Paul, did you want to hop on and join us, or are you too tired? I can put the link in the chat, I guess, if I still have it. And then if anyone wants to come in and join us, the link is there. So, but normally tonight is when I have we do our episodes of the art block with Enrique and Vince. And Paul says he can join for a few.
Right. All
right. So, but Enrique had to cancel it, so we're going to do it next week. But
so
after
what do you normally talk to the guys in the art block about?
Each week we try and come up with a little bit of a different topic. Like last week we talked about AI. Previous week, I think we talked about doing caricatures. We'll come up with something each week. And actually, after what happened today, after they had an announcement from Adobe about what happened with Pantone, I thought that might be kind of something interesting to talk about.
What are your thoughts on the Pantone thing? Maybe start with the announcement.
And so it was my roommate that came in and told me about this earlier this morning. I had to look it up. I want to kind of read in a little bit more, but I think the general gist is that if you have an older version of Photoshop, like 20 years old, and you are still using their, what do you call it, like their cloud service?
Yeah.
The Pantone's, I guess they used to have a contract with Adobe, from what I understand, in using their colors or their color palette. And now that's up, apparently. That's over. And if you had used it, like some artists were opening up some older work, apparently, and all the colors were black.
Uh-oh.
And that's because Pantone has now kind of pulled out of this contract, and they want to charge something like $21 a month to use their color palettes. So it didn't affect everybody, but apparently a number of people did. And I think it's if you have if you're connected on the internet through the cloud, through their cloud service. And that's the general gist of what I've got. I'd have to kind of read into it a little bit more, but it started me thinking about the fact that I just renewed Photoshop like a couple of months ago, and I've kind of reached a point where I think this is going to be my last year with it. I don't think I'm going to need it after this. Between Clip Studio Paint and another program I have called Pixelmator Pro, and not to mention like Krita is also free, even though I never ended up using it. And I think I dumped it, but I might get it again. Between those, I don't really need Photoshop anymore. So there were certain things I liked what you could do with the lettering that were nice shortcuts, but I found out that Pixelmator Pro, I can do all the same sort of things with it. There's a few things that were lacking a little bit in Clip Studio when it came to that. It was the only little downside, but I can do it all in Pixelmator Pro, I discovered. So I thought if I need to do any kind of the fancy stuff with the block letterings and the drop shadows and the outer glows and inner glows and the embossing and that kind of thing, now apparently Pixelmator Pro can do all that. Pixelmator Pro is another program that's just a one-time payment, and that's it. It's not like a monthly. They have another one called Pixelmator Photo that I think is like a monthly or yearly fee, but their basic program. It's not a full art program. Like you can't do, I guess you could do comics. You could lay them out the same way, but I don't think it was really kind of designed for that, although you can do some painting and coloring and graphics, but it's kind of more, I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's more more graphics based than Illustrator based. I've been using Pixelmator for years. I used to have the original program, and then they come out with Pixelmator Pro, and I kind of have both, although I don't use the original one anymore. But I like it. I really like their suite, and I've kind of supported them for a long time. So it's only specifically, however, the only thing with Pixelmator is it's, I think, only designed for the Mac right now. I'm not sure if they have a version for Windows.
So what do you think this means for contemporary users of Photoshop? Is there going to be some additional charge for them now in their service because Pantone wants more money from Photoshop?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I haven't heard anything like that yet. But that's a good question.
Might as well just switch to AI.
Yeah, I know. Just type it all in and have it make it. That's great. All my characters can have 18 fingers and 3 noses.
Draw a duck.
Yeah. Oh God, I wonder if I can put this in. I was fiddling around with Night Cafe, and I was thinking of my little character from. Did I dump it? I think I deleted it. I have to see if I can open it up again. I tried putting it because I was thinking about my little character with Crocs with socks, and oh, there's Paul. You would not believe the hideous image that it came up with.
Is that right?
Oh, it was frightening. Here's Paul. Let's bring in Paul. If I can get him in here. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to get it to add to stream. There we go.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Full page.
Hey, I'm doing okay. Sorry, I'm yawning.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get to bed. It's not too bad. It's only 10:30 here. So, how's it going?
Not too bad. Not too bad for me. I'm kind of enjoying the last of my 3 days off. So tomorrow I have to go back to work. So, yeah, such is life.
Yeah, that's the truth. Oh, geez, I'm sorry, I'm yawning. This is not.
No worries. Normally it's me that's doing that.
Yeah, I got done drawing a picture and let me see what's going on the internet, and there you guys were. So
here we are.
Oh, it's those guys.
Yeah, I always enjoy watching you guys. The whole community is really good to interact with,
Normally, there's 2 other friends of mine from the West Coast. We normally have a show every 3rd Wednesday, and it was supposed to be tonight, but Vince couldn't make it tonight, so we might have to postpone till next week. But I thought, I'm still going to pop on tonight and just chat and see who's out there and see if I can do something tonight. So
cool.
Yeah,
I just drew a picture of. Let me see if I can get this thing to come up.
Yeah.
Still trying to figure out how to use this iPad. Simple things don't always work. There you go. I had to get a new iPad. I had one, and it for like 7-8 years, and then it finally died. And so,
finally,
I just got a new one. And it's slightly different than the old one, the interaction and stuff. But
it says everything with an accent and gives you this attitude when you try to order baguettes.
Exactly it. So this is a picture that I was working on tonight.
Nice.
Oh, dude, nice. Wow.
Are you a sports guy, Paul?
What's that?
Are you a big sports guy?
A little bit. I'm not too big, but I was born in Texas, so I like the Dallas Cowboys, and then.
So you must know Frank then.
Oh yeah, exactly. All Texans know each other. But
it's a common question we get up here in Canada.
Right? Yeah. You guys.
Do you know a French guy named Jean-Pierre? Oh yeah. Everybody knows Jean-Pierre.
And you guys are just alike, right? Because you're both Canadian.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, if I keep moving, because if I stand still too long and look directly at the camera, people aren't sure which one of us is which.
Right. Well, your comic is coming along pretty good there, Chris.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
It's
it's
fun. I'm having fun doing this project. I just finished the hold on, I can show you. I did this page today. So this is. Let me get rid of this.
Nice.
There we go. Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I still had that up. So this is the page I did today, and I get that guy off. So it's
Trying to get
page
you on here.
Page 12 on the project that I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I think I saw that on Facebook earlier today, right?
Yeah, and then
Sorry, I'm trying to enlarge your page, and it keeps wanting to enlarge.
oh, it's all right. Frank Salazar just joined us.
Hey, Frank.
Yeah, he's like, I can tell
Maybe
they're doing something. They're up to something without me.
You were late to the
On camera. Right camera.
So how can I?
Yeah, you got me thinking I should turn my desk around now, Phil. Just for that cooler view. Because my view here is kind of random. So maybe if I adjust with the direction
I
of my
apologize.
desk.
I'm trying to get it so I can see your. But I thought all you had to do was click on it and then it would change. But how do I change it? So
I have no idea, buddy.
Layout, solo layout. All right, this says solo layout. Oh, there. So I guess that way I can see your. Now I can see you a little bit better for a minute.
Yeah, there it looks good.
But,
Well, now that I have the floor, why don't I sing a song? I had to set up. I had a camera set up specifically just to have Ralph the dog and his piano and a microphone on it, and just so that I could intro any video that I did with a little, free share track of piano music and pretend like Ralph is my musical accompaniment for my show.
Mm.
But it's just too many moving parts for me. I'm far too basic for that. It was a fun idea. I've already dropped it.
When you guys were on a couple days ago, we were chatting about using the iPad or not, or using Clip Studio or not.
Sure.
Oh.
There he is.
Frank.
Hey,
there's Frank.
Yeah, I definitely want to get back to that.
I didn't know if you guys wanted to carry that conversation on or not.
So where have you landed in all of that stuff? Are you
me? I'm 100% Clip Studio guy.
100% Clip Studio at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
what?
Comic.
Me too. Clip Studio.
Yeah, for comics anyway, Chris. So.
Yeah,
my dating life.
For lunch, breakfast, dinner, it's Clip Studio for all of that. And at night,
I think I'm going to stick with Photoshop for now, and it's largely because I'm not good with technology for the most part.
Yeah, right.
I have finally figured out a system.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah. No, it's true. There's you got to kind of just do what works for you. And
my wife sent me a message the other day that said, "Hey, why are we using this one music streaming service when we get this other one included with ours already? Can you really just kind of investigate the other one so we can stop paying the extra bill for the other guy?" And I'm like, learn how to do new musics.
Yeah.
Might be worth
Where
it.
will I find all my Rod Stewart?
I was telling Chris earlier, actually, I don't know if you heard, there's been a little issue with some Photoshop users.
This is hot gossip.
Yeah.
Dashboard?
So apparently this has to do with if you have an older version of Photoshop and you have files that are like 20 years old and you've used an older version of it and you're still kind of online using their cloud service. I guess they had a deal with Pantone And if you had any work with Pantone, if you open up your files this morning, they would be all black because Pantone has apparently ended their contract. And so now Pantone wants to charge something like $21 a month to use their color palettes.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
a messy situation, I guess.
Yeah.
Really?
I say we burn them.
Yeah.
Is that why
Well,
Josh
got a
went that
deal.
Pantone for Halloween?
Did it really?
He did. It was. I was confused. I didn't know what that was. And now that you're saying like, oh, okay, so he went as a Photoshop program or something.
Oh.
You make a very nice silver disco star,
That's
Josh.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's right. That's what his jaw. Yeah, I was wondering what that picture. Okay, that makes sense now.
Makes sense. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well,
Fair
I
enough.
don't use Photoshop or Pantone, so I was like, so I thought like, well, maybe it's something from the how's it called, the table of the elements, and so I was like, well, okay, maybe I've never heard of that one, so like, okay.
Right.
I thought he was dressed as Dazzler.
I thought it was Silver Surfer with a beard.
Oh yeah, that's a better one. That's much better than the one I thought of.
Just about 3 months ago, I just renewed my yearly thing with Adobe Photoshop.
Yeah.
And I've kind of realized now I'm just kind of coming to a point. I guess I kind of don't really need it. Between all the other programs I have, I kind of can do anything now. So I thought, I think I'll use up this. I'll finish this year out with Photoshop, but I'm not going to renew it next year. So
I did that in my marriage with my ex-wife. I was like, I don't need you. I have all these other. I have maple syrup. And now I regret my choices.
So
I didn't renew my relationship with my ex-wife. That's fantastic, Frank.
What did I do?
She keeps sending him emails. Hey, we noticed that your membership has lapsed. If you're interested in signing back up, just click the following. Terrible. It's
I
marriage,
need
you
to
everybody.
find
Right
any
of you.
newsletter. But
I was playing around with
that's one of my favorite jokes, Chris, actually.
what's that?
That's one of my favorite jokes, when Chris said, try the video.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Well, some excuse.
Yeah, I say it all the time. Yeah. I just like Vio. Someone recommended poutine. Can you tell me what that is, guys? Cause
It is transcendent joy. Frank.
Yeah.
It is the moment that you eat it, your doctor will go.
Heaven on earth.
The moment that you have some poutine, Frank, your doctor's going to send you a video conference call and just look at you and go, come on into the office. Come on in, Frank. You thought you were going to get in trouble for maple. You get in trouble for clogging every artery you own with poutine.
Pretty much. Oh, so worth it though.
I don't actually eat poutine because I'm lactose intolerant, and so it's like, though poutine sounds fun for me, but so does dancing in a lightning storm.
Yeah,
actually, that is fun.
It was funny. I was about to say the same thing. I haven't had it in years, actually, as much as I liked it, because I can't do the cheese.
Oh, it's cheese. There's cheese in it, huh?
Yeah, I think basically French fries with cheese curds and gravy.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what, because I had heard, like, I keep hearing poutine, like, oh, I want to try it, and then I think it was in one of my comments, Jimmy Draws or Jimmy Dragon Draws says, like, oh, you can make it with French fries, gravy, and you can put cheese if you want, and like, oh, that's what that is. Like, okay, I can't have any of that. I mean, I can have cheese, but like I can't
Though,
have
is
potatoes
very
right now because it's just bigger.
Yeah, it's not easy. As Phil was pointing out, some of the things that he's noticing as he gets older,
yeah.
and the poutine goes off a lot of people's lists.
Yeah, by the way, I'm tired from drawing a picture, but that wasn't the only thing that I did today. So.
Oh, I kind of figured. I just
I took a walk today, and I went to a Toastmasters International Club. When I got back, I'm gonna take a nap.
When your arm gets tired, you just keep raising that glass over and over and over again. We get it. Everybody wants to talk. Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm proposing maybe we do something else, but that's what the club is.
Somebody mentioned to me about going to a Toastmaster event here in Canada, and being as informed as I am on reality, I thought they were inviting me to a roast, and where everybody lines up.
You're going to be disappointed, huh?
And everybody lines up and takes shot at the guest of honor, and boy, am I glad I clarified that before I went out, huh? I go to this event, everybody's trying to be nice, and I'm just tearing them apart. The new guy you got, Bill, is a jerk.
I was gonna say, does Toastmaster still exist? I thought that was like an old.
No, it still exists.
It was some speech toast thing. I don't know if it was specifically called Toastmasters.
Oh, I was thinking of there was something years ago called Toastmaster that was like an editing software suite or something years and years ago, and I don't know. I didn't know.
I don't know what.
Frank, did you attend an editing software suite tonight?
No, it was a speech thing. I was the topics table master, and so I gave out some questions and.
Oh Lord!
We gave a little speech.
What were your questions for the table?
Oh, it's the
Frank. Imagine that we're toast-worthy.
Well, you want me to say how I started off? Well, one of my favorite animals is the Turaco. I even use it as my logo. What is one of your favorite animals and why, Christopher?
I don't know what a Turaco is.
It's a bird.
Okay. I like bird.
Okay. Usually it goes on for at least 2 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what to talk about.
I'm not good at this at all then.
Yeah, and one of my other questions was like, if you could turn back time, and yes, I was inspired by Cher's song. What event in your life would you revisit?
Did you auto-tune that when you said it, or just say it straight out?
I wanted to sing it, but I just said it straight.
If you could turn back time, and what was the question?
If you could turn back time, what event in your life would you revisit?
Okay, so I heard about this program 20 some odd years ago called Photoshop. And I thought, these colors look great. If only I had known.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Callback. Classic callback.
I was playing around a little bit with AI earlier, and I was starting to talk to show Chris this real quick, and I was playing around with that Night Cafe AI to see what it would come up with this time. And I was thinking about that little children's book that I had been playing around with last year that kind of got put on the back burner. And I thought, okay, I'm going to see what it'll come up with. And I tried punching in some prompts like cartoon old man wearing Crocs and wearing a Hawaiian shirt. And this is what it came up with.
Yeah,
that's that was
Huh.
It's Christopher Lloyd in the front row there.
Yeah, that's weird. So, what is the key with the AI stuff? Do you got to be able to? Do you got to give it the correct prompts? Is that the?
I guess, but oh my god, I was looking at that going, what? How did it come up with that?
So
Like,
sometimes you can come up with the best prompt, and the AI still gives you
it's like,
some things like that, and sometimes it'll give you a gem. I was using Dream Studio, the beta version, the other day,
oh yeah,
and
I've heard
I
of it.
got I did the first one, like a really great looking image. I think I put I was trying to do a masked woman riding one the robot dinosaur. So I just I use as a descriptor, and like she kind of looks like a Valkyrie. So I put a woman Valkyrie dressed in purple riding a four-legged dinosaur, purple dinosaur. It gave me,
Mm.
a pretty good-looking masked woman. Instead of a dinosaur, it was a horse, but it was a good-looking horse. It actually looked like a horse. And like, okay, this is not bad. I'll try it again, and it gave me some like weird combination abomination thing. Like, okay, well, I guess it's hit or miss.
When I first saw AI a few months ago was when Jake Parker, the artist, had drawn a character, and then he used AI to make like 30 new versions of that character. And the AI versions were way like he designed a character, and then the AI versions were like way better.
Oh no!
Yeah.
There is that aspect. I was using it on my phone, so I wasn't able to do that. But that is something I've been wanting to do, and I think what's his name, Adam Lore, because he plays around with AI a lot. So I had sent him a drawing of masked woman, and so he did that. He did like variants of that, and there were some that were okay, and there were some that were pretty good, and he sent me those. And now I have I think I did an illustration of one, and it's like she has like these wings. So like I thought that was pretty cool.
I only really got into this whole AI debate, like looked into it today, and
yeah,
the
now you're a pro.
Proco, the draftsman, the draftsman's program there.
I was just going to mention that. Yes, they had a really interesting talk about that.
Well, I'd watched that program. I watched a few programs after, but I watched that one first, and I got mad. And because,
really?
Yeah, because they take one of my favorite artists, and they literally use him as their example and input him into the AI and have them draw a version of their, the two of them sitting at an interview table, a promotional image for it, and his style, and Dave McKeon's style, the guy that did the covers for Sandman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that pissed me off so much that they used an artist that I like.
Yeah.
I begrudgingly made it through the episode.
I even put one of my artists. I put a happy man talking to his wife in the style of Joshua Kimball, and next thing the guy was on the bridge. The wife was having a manic depressive attack on the couch, and like I'm just
Ouch.
I get it.
I have his book.
I see what you did there, Frank. Yeah, the AI thing is pretty interesting. The whole debate.
Well,
it's fun to play with, and I'm still trying to figure out how I can use it in a way, or if I want to use it in a way, either as getting ideas or actually using the art itself. I know people use it for background.
I'm not very interested in it at all. I mean, as far as you like using it or even looking at it, I mean, I'd rather see somebody create even the finished product. I'd rather know that somebody drew it.
Yeah.
They made a really interesting point at the end of their conversation, because I was listening to I listened to the whole podcast,
Mhm.
And they
This
talk
is
about how artists are we communicate through our work.
yeah.
And so people connect to that. They make a relationship with that piece of work.
Mhm.
Even
Yeah.
if it's something that doesn't turn out right or that's not very good, they don't care. They'd rather see something that's by that artist that's not very good and connect with them than to try and connect with a
Computer.
something that's been generated.
program.
Right, because the artist, when you're talking about that AI stuff, the artist is the computer programmer,
Mhm.
you know, as much as anything. But I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I love like the Pixar movies, say, for example.
Right.
Those are all done with 3D modeling and things. You know, it's a completely different kind of art. It's a lot of it's computer generated. So I don't have a problem with the AI generated art. I'm just not that interested because I don't, like you said, Philip, I don't connect with it that much.
Yeah.
You know, knowing that nobody drew it, that it was just generated from you know, now I may read Chris's story, right? And I like the story and I connect to the story, but I also connect with him drawing the art. You know, I know that he's drawn the pictures, but what if I read the story and all the pictures are generated by AI and they look very similar to what he's drawn? You know, that's
I got one of Chris's.
oh,
Right. And it's
awesome.
Oh, that's cool, Frank.
Which I was reading some of your comics the other day, and like I really liked them.
Oh,
I
thanks,
enjoyed
man.
them.
whoops.
Oh goodness, I don't have any yet, Chris, but I will get some.
I'll have to get you some there, my friend.
Yeah.
Send you guys posts. I'm gonna get you some too, Phil. I was really curious about your perspective on that. I heard Philip mention something about it. I was curious as to hear your take, Paul and Frank. I got overexcited and I cut you off when you started to talk about your. But I'm like, I want to hear your perspective, and you already just started telling it, but I cut you off, Paul. I'm sorry for that. There's something about this whole thing that's far more pernicious than just being a problem about computer programmers being able to identifiably keylog in a bunch of key pieces of information and then it creates some sort of artificial image. That's just the first problem.
Yeah.
I think that and people that are, you know, like I look at it like, well, I don't really care for I think that a lot of these people that do this sort of motion picture layout sort of stuff with the sweeping brushstroke, you know, landscape stuff for movie set designs and all of these sort of computer illustrated images. I think that's going to be a problem. I think that'll be the first real market that's affected. Scott Circlin did a thing about fan art today on his podcast.
Yeah.
And I said, and then of course I asserted
I missed that.
Well, my assertion in that comment was that I think fan art's one of the first things to go because who cares?
Yeah.
You could just generate another random Spider-Man. It's no different than
I don't have that kind of sort of negative attitude towards it myself, Chris. I mean, I look at it like this. Before I got my computers here that I use at home, I really didn't make comics, and I wouldn't make comics. They helped me. The computer stuff helped me enter the market or enter this world, you know. And I think a lot of people entered this world with computers. So I think technology in that way helps.
My dad was a Mac, so yeah, I entered the world of a computer.
Yeah, right. Yes, you were born. Yeah, my mom was
a Mac daddy.
My dad was a Mac, so
he was a Mac daddy.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think technology is good, but it can be disruptive for sure. You know,
but it's not so much the negative association, but how it specifically affects this field. I don't. If you are in a position where somebody can just keylog the thing that you do,
yeah,
then maybe there wasn't enough autonomy in what you did. But if the technology becomes so clearly defined that it starts generating, it can easily have prompted into it X amount of work by any specific individual, and then take that person's work and just replicate them to ad nauseum, that you start specifically eliminating people. That's problematic. I think the fear that this sets a, like I said, this pernicious precedent for, is that there are X amount of people out there who, as of right now, don't have any consideration towards hiring artists for things. They're going to use clip art anyways.
Right.
They're going to do something else themselves, but their basic understanding of Photoshop or whatever it is. And so this just gives more arsenal to that ideology. And and so those people that are more and more inclined to do so will readily do so. Those people that are able to take advantage of situations with this sort of technology will readily do so. But that's not the problem to me. The problem to me is the more we allow artificial autonomy, like it's always been, machines are machines, tools are tools.
Right.
But it's the idea of caveman builds spear, right? Caveman makes the flint arrowhead or spearhead for it. Caveman or sharpens the stick, or learns new technology in burnishing the stick and to make a stick stronger, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the stick doesn't throw itself. So as soon as we start creating our tools and our technologies to the extent that with minimal inputs, they can generate de facto creative outputs that people rely on more readily in the future. And I'm talking about it not being a problem today. I'm talking about it being a problem 25 years. And then 50 years from now, as much as the human spirit has this necessitation to self-express and to create things and to make things, will that diminish? Or will that?
I don't think that will diminish. Yeah, I just don't believe that'll diminish. I think the humanity is what the overreaching, the through line to all of it.
Yeah.
So I really believe that our creativity and the human spirit is immeasurable.
It is, but we used to have, when we made buildings for our downtowns and we made fancy ornate buildings for our city centers, there were stone workmen, and there was beautiful ornate woodwork, and there was beautiful stone carvings on the said buildings.
Right. Yeah.
And as the simplification and the democratization of our technologies, introducing steel and largely fabricated products, where is all of that now?
Right.
So the artistry of things is more and more diminished by the more mechanized we make the artistic process. That's all I'm saying. Because the easiest thing always wins.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. There's a part of the angle or the commercialization piece that is really tough to, like you were talking about, when people can just hire computers instead of people, and that's why you don't have the buildings with the ornate architecture anymore, because it's just commercially it's impractical anymore. So there's that part of it, and that is hard to reconcile for sure. But
cheaper and easy is always going to win, and the general populace is a lot less concerned about art than art people are. And if they can find the cheap and easy thing, if they can go to Las Vegas and watch a Elvis impersonator, well, that's just like Elvis.
Right. I don't know. I just have a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith in the human spirit and the human creativity, and right now, like just say, use architecture as an example. Right now is a really, architecture's in the pits if you're comparing the new, buildings to the buildings from 100 or 200 years ago. But maybe 100 years from now, we figure out some technology that allows us to commercially make it viable to create those ornate pieces, or the Sistine Chapel or something like that,
I think 100 years from now,
Yeah.
the Chris Rock of the day is going to say something on stage,
Mm-hmm.
and the Will Smith in the audience is going to send his robot up to hit.
Well, that way nobody gets slapped. It's just robots.
Oh no! That robot's going to slap the hell out of that Chris Rock of that age. It's gonna take off his space helmet, and his jokes aren't going to land on the moon anymore. He's just going to float in space.
I'll have to check out that episode of it's Proco that you're talking about, right?
Yeah. They come up with a few extra episodes trying to sell their online courses. They don't have sponsors anymore, but they're trying to solicit and promote their online show, and so they've done a few free to YouTube programs, a new season, even though they said they were officially done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Either way, those Stan and Marshall are they're pretty insightful guys. I think Marshall's a gem. I really do.
I enjoy listening to him talk. Actually,
I haven't caught too much of them. I follow them on YouTube, but I just haven't.
I follow him around the market.
Fantastic.
Frank, I might be
a restraining order.
Where do you follow him, Frank? On the street? What?
Or around the market.
Around the market.
Yeah, it's.
Corey put out a video talking about AI and some interesting points.
Yeah.
Like everyone is concerned about whether it's going to put an artist out of a job or something, but they're not.
Yeah, I mean, I think
about it's
very similar
replacing the heart of the artist.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Frank? Do you think it's a real issue, or?
I think it can become an issue because I play around with it, and I thought of maybe I can generate some backgrounds and it'll be easier, but I'm never going to learn to do great backgrounds if I'm going to rely on that. So I try to use it as kind of inspiration and take something from there, but still draw something on my own. I think if you use it as a tool or as a prompt like that, it's fine. If you want to use it, to create backgrounds or create, stuff you can sell in your merch, there's a lot of people that will edit it heavily. And so they are putting something of themselves in there, and if they want to do that, that's fine. But I don't want to go to a museum and see like this was generated with this prompt on this.
Right.
computer.
Yeah, it's the same here. Yeah, I'm just not interested in it. I'd rather see something that I know is drawn by an artist.
But if it's something that's pretty on the shirt or something, oh, that's cool. And, oh, that was AI. That's interesting. But
like for example, like I like the Pixar movies. I really do. Like Up. Mm-hmm. That's a great movie. And the artwork is amazing in it. But like, I also like. Did you guys see this latest show called Primal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aronofsky.
Yeah, he's an awesome animator and artist, and I like that 2D traditional animation. Way better than I liked Pixar. Pixar stuff is amazing,
Sure.
but I like the artistic.
I guess there is still artists behind it that still have to hand draw design these characters. They are fed into the computer and the computer generates them. But I guess because there's still some humanity behind it, I guess.
Are you talking about Pixar?
Yeah.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Gendry Tartakovsky, I think is his name. Yeah, he's the Samurai Bob guy. He's the guy that did the 16 webisode episodes of Clone Wars.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. He did the Powerpuff Girls is where he started, really.
Phenomenal talent.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah.
Did you know that when in the fictitious world of the band the Gorillaz, are you guys familiar with Gorillaz?
Oh yes.
Paul? Bill? No?
Gorillas. Yeah.
The Gorillaz?
Yeah,
No.
it's they're an animated band, but
I think
Gorillas,
what
of
you're
course,
referring to
yes.
now. Yeah, okay, a little bit, kind of. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking
So,
about.
okay, so what the Gorillaz is Damon Albarn, the lead singer, pianist for the pop band Blur,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Is best friends and was longtime roommates with Jamie Hewlett, the artist of Tank Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So those two guys decided to start a band. Now,
Yeah.
Damon
Awesome.
does all the music, and he gets all kinds of incredibly talented musicians and rappers and singers to record with him. And while he does that, Jamie fabricated a band of 4 members, and that big black guy on drums named Russell, a lead singer named 2D who looks very much like Damon, the bass player who's got green skin because he's of a deal with the devil, and looks very much like Jamie, and then Asian guitar player that came in the mail named Noodle. And over the years of this band, and in the years that the Gorillaz have been going, Noodle has grown up, has aged over the course of each album.
Okay, cool.
And so now she's an adult woman, but in all these albums that they've done, Jamie illustrates the band. They do big, huge 2-dimensional, but 3-dimensional in the image projections on the stage. So it looks like this 20-foot tall members of the band are performing.
Have you gone to see him in concert?
No, I have no intention to. But I know that Corey Kerr saw them.
Oh, really?
I'm just not a concert guy. I'm just not a concert guy. But
okay.
But the whole presumption of these guys is that the band isn't real. It's basically just Damon and whoever he gets.
Yeah.
And yet they have this entire history, mythology. They did an MTV Cribs when they went to their fake made-up home studio. There's so much. It's this entirely artificial thing, and yet they're as real as any other band for a lot of young people that have grown up listening to them. I think it's personally genius because I've been following Jamie since the 1980s. But it's a phenomenal thing. The band's not half bad. I love the Gorillaz. I think they're great. I like all their stuff because I'm not really a rap guy, but there's a lot of great stuff in there. And
I listen to them quite a lot.
Nice.
Big
but
fan.
it's completely artificial, and it hasn't changed the music industry to eliminate other groups.
Right.
I think that you can use tools and devices for things. You just and stretch the boundaries of what you can do with those. But let's say auto tuning. You mentioned Cher earlier, Frank. Let's say that outside of pop music, where we can tell how artificial auto tuning is in people's recordings, let's say all music has to be auto tuned now. Let's say major celebrities and stars are entirely artificially created. See, I don't think that's ever really going to happen. I think there'll be much more rebellion and licensing before that ever comes to that point. So the people that are afraid of those things, I think they might be concerned for something that's not going to happen. But I do see that the more and more we allow the things that challenge what people make and produce, it's going to be problematic for those people to generate any sort of reciprocity for themselves from the things that they produce, whether it's their art, it's their animation, it's their music, it's their film. If people that are far more basic And the application can just pull up a computer program and spit out some random thing with a really fantastic programmer.
Yeah.
That's disappointing. And use somebody else. I'm going to make a film just like Terry Gilliam. And they've got a programmer to do the Terry Gilliam movie without Terry Gilliam's involvement.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know.
With far less anxiety.
I think people will prefer. Well, I don't know. The commercialization of it is the part that I think is, like you said, people will just. It's just too easy to make a Terry Gilliam film with a computer than getting actual Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
So, but I think human creativity is the humanity is what people, the connection to people is what people crave. And so I think that's what we'll be drawn to.
Yeah.
So I was going to show you this. This is a band.
I just saw that pop up now.
It's a band that a guy made up, and then I drew the picture. So
Nice.
this is a fictional band.
That's super cool.
It's on souljones.com. So
That's really good.
when you mentioned the gorillas,
yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, that is.
Thanks.
Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. I want to just get a closer look.
Oh, Josh just posted a YouTube short.
Right?
Yeah, I noticed Gary actually is running his top 5 network TV shows right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I gotta
If it doesn't include Dallas, I'm gonna be angry.
Dallas.
DJ Hooker, Dallas, Knots Landing, Falcon Crest, Morgan Mindy.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Okay,
Nothing
I'll
else.
get this off of here. I can stop sharing that. There we go.
So, Scott Zirkland had on his channel today. Well, we'd already talked about this a second ago, Paul. But Phil, did you get a chance to see Scott Zirkland's bit today about fan art?
No, I didn't. If it's still up, I'll definitely go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's on his channel.
Is it? Okay, yeah, I'll definitely watch it then. I didn't know he put one up today.
Yeah.
I got listening to Marshall and Proco talking, and I guess I missed it. But
he was talking, like he was being very generous and very careful not to be too declarative or taking a stance on saying something negative towards fan art, which
Right.
I thought was very respectful of him.
Yeah.
It's I however don't have that compunction.
Well, I think Chris, your point is get to expressing your own characters and your own stories, right? Just get to it, right?
You want to do a Spider-Man comic? Do your version of a Spider-Man comic. Don't use Spider-Man. Make your own character that's similar to him. Maybe something like The Fly.
Yeah.
And do your own thing, but stop continually perpetuating these corporate entities that don't care about you or what you make, other than sue you and to be litigious nightmares,
Right?
Because you have made a lot of money off of their properties, and they want some because corporations are greedy monsters.
I mean, I think that's why I'm so drawn to this. I have a stack of comics in my bedside table from this community.
Cool.
I'm behind on reading, but I'm not interested in these like you said, Chris, this corporate junk. And I think that's the same through line about will happen when AI art becomes so ubiquitous that you can just make a movie by typing in some prompts.
Yeah.
I just don't think people are drawn to that as much as because of the human connection is what we're looking for.
Sure, we are.
And I think us as artists have found this sort of underground human connection. I think we're early adopters.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think, I don't know how it'll play out, but yeah, I just have faith in people.
It's not that I don't have faith in people.
Mm-hmm.
It's is that I am unfortunately overwhelmingly. I don't want to say cynical,
Mm-hmm.
but it might be a good word. Because I just tend to believe that at the end of the day, the herd, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The vox populi, the majority, is always gravitated towards the simplest and easiest thing. Why did we vote in Canada primarily for 3 parties? Why do you vote in the United States primarily for 2?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're the ones that majority of people see,
I
and the
hear you.
majority of people just defer to.
Mm-hmm.
Are they right?
No, but definitely not.
So, and yet they are.
Yeah.
Because they're the majority voice, whether it's legitimate or not. I right now in Canada here, I have a prime minister that I don't want, for myself at least, and never did, and yet this is who we have because the majority says, and because that's what the majority does.
Yeah.
People don't generally look too deep into it. People don't generally, purposely go out of their way. And I think it's an unfortunate reality, and it's that unfortunate reality that makes me have the sort of take on things like the potential of AI usage, or okay, so professional photographers. Now, I used to work as a production floor manager of a photo studio here in London, and I had 14 photographers, and I would send them all out each day to set up what is now the MLS listing system for London and St. Thomas, and so here's the houses on this street, here's the houses on that street, and they go out with these brand new, spanking new digital cameras. That way, they were all outfitted with this huge expense at the time. Whereas digital imaging is so easy. Then a single camera would be $500-600. And so they'd all go out and take pictures of these properties and come back with them. And half of them were photography students, and the other half of them were point and click. And I just need more people. So point and click Bob is just as good as photo student Bill,
Yeah.
because for the purposes of what this is, that's just at the start of digital cameras. Then once we start getting into cameras built into your telephone, everyone's a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So any of these people that I worked with 30 years ago, good Lord, that have these great aspirations to being professional photographers, I know for a fact that many of those people are not.
Yeah, they had to give up on that.
Because everybody has a camera built in their phone.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's real disruptive. Technology is real disruptive like that.
Yeah, so I don't want to sound like a pessimist, but I am a pragmatic person, and I look at that aspect of society, and I look at how people gravitate towards. It's easier to go to Walmart and to buy a 4-foot by 6-foot photo of an elephant's ass. Hang that on your living room wall behind your couch.
Right. Yeah, instead of actually having like a local artist paint something for you, right?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. That's the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that concerns me. Anytime something like this comes up, everybody in the community getting into an uproar. Well, either get into an uproar legally to have it the whole thing licensed and controlled and regulated, or don't let them know. That's what
For sure.
Don't tell the mob. Don't show them where the pitchforks are.
Corey's got some good insights on it, for sure. Too.
He sent it out in his newsletter. I have not had a chance to read it yet.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I think you should stick with what you're doing, Chris. It looks great. And
that's nice. Yeah.
And why get bogged down in that whole thing, right?
Well, I myself am never going to enter into an arena about it because personally,
yeah, right.
The simplistic approach that I have to storytelling isn't as immediately affected by it. Now, when it comes to, reproduction and distribution and all those things that I'm in the midst of getting sorted out and representation and all that, that's a challenge in the day and age where with so much commonality of how many people are out there. I make comics and with their pinups of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No. I mean, the argument that I made today with Scott's podcast was make comics. If you want to be a comic artist, you might want to make some comics.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I saw Kanye West call himself one of the top 5 writers of all time.
Oh, is that his latest claim?
Yeah, and it kind of pissed me off because, you actually haven't written anything. You might have the talent to write as good as Shakespeare, but until you actually write something, it doesn't count. Because I found that as and I have all these great ideas, right? But when I actually go to put them down on paper and make a book, I'm not quite as good as I thought I was. I'm not quite as good as I was in my head. It's a lot harder to actually do it and finish it than it is to dream about it.
Oh, sure. I tend to chalk a lot of these popular media artists that make these claims or have these fames based on I don't know what, the herd. And yeah, I don't give him anything. And Kanye West has made previous claims about being the best. What is it? Pop artist in the world?
Yeah, I don't know.
Does he do pop music? I don't actually know any Kanye. So
yeah, actually, he's done quite a lot of great music, but he's a good musician, that's for sure. But
is he a musician?
Yeah, he's a musician.
Does he actually play music?
Oh yeah, he's actually quite the musical genius.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't see it.
That doesn't mean he's out of his mind either.
No, I really don't see it. What little bit I have heard of him, it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
There's other performers that are in the same sort of genre, like Anderson .Paak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's great.
That man's phenomenal.
Yeah,
he truly is.
Yeah,
he's a brilliant percussionist, and he performs with a band.
Yeah.
And I don't think most deaf. I think what Kanye, the way that people celebrate Kanye, I think should have been directed towards most deaf, because that man is very talented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Philip, are you? By the way, are you gonna your space epic? Are you gonna turn that into a comic?
Oh yes, yeah. I've dug out the script for it, and I've been doing a couple of test pages with it. So it's going to be underway.
Yes.
Just a few things in life I got to get organized, like the
Sure.
studio and whatnot. But I have actually pulled out the story, kind of went through it, read through it again, started doing some rough sketches of the characters, get used to their designs.
There you go.
I pulled out some old drawings of the title page I had planned a long time ago and started playing with that again. And ship designs and whatnot that's going to be in it. So yeah, so it's I'm starting to play with it a little bit. So I'm hoping to.
There you go, Chris. He's following your orders.
Yeah.
Well, I want my orders. I was on with Phil. Was it last night, Phil? And maybe the night before.
Halloween night, I think it was. Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah.
And
I missed that.
He was working then.
I was out.
That's right. I was.
Yeah. I was on. I was watching you guys. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. He was working on the spaceships then.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I was playing around with the opening page for it. Yeah.
Now, Frank, I got a copy of your comic.
Yeah.
And hold on, I got to do this for Frank.
Hello, Lonnie.
I got a copy of your book, Frank.
Lane, or is it Laney?
And I'm looking forward to seeing more.
I need to make more.
I'm looking forward to seeing you do more comics. See, now I'm being an agitator, Paul.
Yes, I like it.
Well, you're starting volume 3.
Part of my motto is make comics, not excuses. Well, that's my motto. But,
yeah, I like that too.
Like that.
Like it's a challenging enough thing.
I've been looking at your stuff, Chris, and I kind of want to attempt something, a similar thing with the Comic Jam for like.
Okay,
and do my own, like with a group of people, because I do like where it, it's had someone just start off with a doodle, and then from there it grew into.
Well, so the jam pages that you're holding up, Frank. So that's in not this Monday night, but the following. In London, Ontario. Here, we've got the next Comic Jam happening, and that's an all-age event. We've got people that come out to this that are 10, 11 years old, and people into their 60s.
Oh wow!
That attend to this, and somebody draws the first panel on a page, slides it into the middle of the table, and the next person continues that narrative in the next panel, slides it into the middle of the table.
I used to attend something like that in Toronto years ago.
Yeah. Well, the Toronto Comic Jam lasted for a number of years. We've been going for a solid 7 now. Toronto Comic Jam, last I heard, was 20 years.
Wow, that's really cool.
That was pre-COVID. COVID shut most people down.
Yeah.
Have you got one? There you go.
Look at that.
Nicely done.
Yeah, there was. It's so funny. I thought I just saw them. They were somewhere in the pile in my office here. But
That's
you look
great.
at the date on it. It's from 2000. God, has it been that long?
Yeah. So if anybody that has some peer group that are also creators, that are also writing or illustrating things, I would suggest you try it. I would suggest you try this. It's literally just somebody draws that first panel, and then the next artist down the table, the next panel, next.
Most of mine are like you're online, so it's kind of harder to do that. But I do want to find.
It is, but it isn't. There's things like Zoom has a whiteboard system, and so that whiteboard system is that individuals.
I only use the Mexican board.
What's that?
I only use the Mexican board.
The brown board.
The brown board.
My point is,
there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to do it online, though.
There's whiteboards through Zoom where all the participants in the Zoom conference can actually write on notes onto this whiteboard. Mm-hmm. So, and with that in mind, if you figure out each of you working on specific quadrants of a page, then each person can add in an illustration on said page, right? Mm-hmm. So there's ways to do interactive artwork, and there's ways to do things that engages artists digitally Laney is very
Philippines.
enthusiastically sending lots of hearts. There we go.
Oh, okay.
From the Philippines.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, hey, lady
Yeah,
from the
she's from
Philippines.
There you
Well,
go.
I have too much
Which
fun with you guys. I got to go to bed though.
I hear you.
Paul,
Well,
Well, now
one thing I
Paul's
wanted to
leaving, I
mention
can
before
talk
you
about
go, I
it.
was going to ask you about, because we were talking briefly about animation earlier, and I wanted to mention something, and the topic kind of got changed over. But I was going to ask you, because you were talking about traditional animation. Have you seen? It's on Netflix every Christmas. Have you seen Claws?
Oh,
Yeah, the film Claus?
Yeah,
yeah. I think I
phenomenal.
watched it once, and I don't
it is
remember.
one of the most beautifully animated films I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure.
It is
it out.
amazing. And the weird thing is, they did a style where it's
like
not.
KLAUS, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
They,
it's from Leica Studios.
yeah.
I follow them on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
It's so the way they did it's all still hand animated.
Yeah.
The coloring is done on computer, and they went through this huge lengthy process where it doesn't have the lines. You don't see the lines. It has a rounded look, but you can tell it's shaded, and I don't know how to describe it. You have to see this film and see
Right. Right. I don't really remember much about it, but I do recall liking the artwork.
I watch it every year now.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
So well done, so well written. The story is
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll definitely find it.
Yeah, a distracted mailman gets sent to this remote location up north to do the mail post there, in a village that has a conflict going on between two different families in it on opposite sides of the street, trying to kill each other. And this is where he has to go in and start getting people to send letters again and use the mail.
Oh, okay.
And through this device, they tell a Christmas Santa Claus story.
That's awesome. What was the name of that studio, Chris?
Laika. Leica.
Leica, yeah, they did. They don't get enough recognition.
They don't. They're
Hey,
fantastic.
Adam, how you doing?
Is that Adam Lore?
Adam Lore is joined us.
Yeah, they're a truly great studio, and they've got some real talent to them. And
Yeah,
if
the
you follow them
women
on
here.
Instagram, they post all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah,
But that may well be one of my favorite animated films in the last so many years.
I'm looking for.
It's oh,
I just drew this.
that's hilarious.
Well done.
I just drew this on digital and Mayan AI.
Okay, there they are. Found it.
Adam's watching while we're walking to the store.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Adam.
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
What it is, man. What it is.
What it is, what it was, what it ever shall be.
because we were talking about the comic jam, and I used to play a game that's kind of similar, but it involves writing. So I think there's even a board game. I think it's called like Telephone Pictionary or something like that. But where you have a group of people, and each one, like, so if it's four of us, we each have 4 pieces of paper, and we'll write something random on the first page,
Yeah.
and then pass it to the next people, and they do the same. So like, you give me your stack, Paul, I give Phil his stack.
Oh, okay.
uh,
I can see what you mean. Yeah.
you know, my stack, and so like that. So the first page, Aaron writes something. The second page, you attempt to draw what the person wrote.
Okay.
And then you kind of hit it, and then it goes on with the next person, but you don't look at what the other person wrote before that. So you just kind of interpreting, and at the end you come up with some pretty cool stuff. But I used to play that with my ex-wife and her family. So that was a pretty fun game because I got to draw a lot, and they were kind of encouraging me, you should draw more often or go to school or something like that. Um, but I like that aspect. I thought that would be something either to get ideas from or even make a a comic like right there, just with just the text and the images, and then just putting them together or something. So
Well, one
that
of
could
the
be
things I
something.
said to one of my students was to use Post-its. Whenever you have a notion come in your head, write it on a Post-it.
Oh, okay.
So he starts doing. So this specific student starts doing this, and he has every random thought that comes in. Oh, he writes it on a piece of paper and throws it into eventually throws it into a plastic bag. He has a plastic bag full of them. And some of the stuff that comes out of not plastic bags, some of those Post-it ideas, is hard rock gold. I mean, just golden ideas. And it's just this anecdotal notion that entered into his mind at some point. So I've posited that at this point, what he should do is sit down and go through that bag and try to put a bunch of them in some sort of linear order.
Yeah.
And structure something out of that.
There's an artist. His name's Johan Peterson. He lives in like Sweden or something. He makes a comic called I got a couple of them there. It's called it's set in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's called Nash.
Okay.
And he does his comic frames individually on pieces of paper, and then he'll piece them together and on the page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He'll just cut them out, or he'll size them down. Yeah, real loose art, and it's really fun art style.
I do that with this project here. I've been doing that.
Yeah.
With, whenever I will insert, hold on. In this, so as I'm doing this here, let me see if I can. Okay, so here's a page, and so as I insert, so this is drawn on a heavy blue cardstock.
Gotcha.
And I'll insert it into the page.
Nice.
So I have to scan it. So I'm drawing these pages separately.
Right.
And then I got to scan those all, and then separately, and then which is fine until you start getting like 4 of them.
Yeah. Look at that.
And then you have to scan these, and then cut and paste the damn things in here individually, and yet the randomness of the pages that I'm using, they don't even fit the page, but I know that I can make them fit the panel.
Yeah.
In digitally, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, man, he's got a great notion there. That really works.
Can you guys excuse me for just like a couple of minutes? There's a friend of mine trying to reach me. He's been calling over and over and over again. So I just want to like call him back, tell him I'm just in the middle of a live. I think he's driving, trying to reach me. So
he's got a check for you of $1,000.
If you could just give me about 5 minutes. Are you sticking around, Paul, or were you?
I'm gonna go, Philip. So
are you? Okay, I know you're getting tired. But thanks for popping in, though. It was good to see you.
Oh no, man, my pleasure. Like I said, I had too much fun with you guys.
That's great, man. It's good hanging out with you.
All right, Paul. Likewise. Good conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
All right,
good night,
have a good night, Paul.
All right, so Paul's leaving, and Phil's going out to do something.
I'm just going to be back in about 2 minutes. I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to phone him and just let him know that.
All right, Frank and I are going to say nothing but salacious comments about other people.
All right. Okay.
All right. I can guarantee that. So did you see what Phil was wearing?
What's that?
So did you see what Phil was wearing?
Yeah, he had a shirt on. I mean, who wears shirts? Phil was showing me earlier on tonight about how he's getting his studio set up now. So he's going through this whole process of putting up bookshelves and it's all finally coming together for him, and I'm really excited for that because
nice.
It's something that's been
been in the pipeline for a while,
weighing on him. So it's nice. He's going to have the fancied up studio. We're all going to be really jealous.
I know. I just have my phone and whatever's in the back. Piles of stuff.
Well, it's not the elaborateness of the space that makes that that authenticates the creativity of the person. I mean, you can have the most fantastic studio, and yet, well, what are you doing it? Well, I don't get time to go in there much. Oh no.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can find a place to work. I spent many years working on a kitchen table, setting up, working on whatever,
Yeah.
putting away before the kids get up before me in the morning and cover whatever I just did and whatever they're having for breakfast. So there was many instances for me where, oh no, I didn't put stuff away. Panic waking up at 4 a.m. All right. That's a tricky panel I got to draw.
Mm-hmm.
He's visiting his mama.
Oh, man. The Toastmasters Club is at the local library, so afterwards I was looking at the manga section because Anna was telling me you probably seen the movie or have books Nausicaa by Miyazaki.
Yeah.
So she was telling me that she has the big volume, and she was recommending I go to a library and request that if they stock it. So first I was checking, and they have the first volume by itself. So I was glancing through that and just looking at the art because she showed me some pictures, but looking at the art just like right there and holding it and like feeling the paper like that's something that you can't get duplicated in digital as much when it's just like purely digital. Uh, but I like that. And I was struggling trying to like, how do you read this again? Like, but the way he drew his like the characters and the creatures, like this is really beautiful work, and that would be something I'd love to see in a museum.
Well, he's a really talented individual. There's a few different people. If you're looking for some really good manga to investigate, I could suggest a few names for you if you like. I mean, there's people that have like I'm a big fan of.
I have a couple of the One Punch Man books. I think I have like 3 of them that I bought, and I have a volume of Full Metal Alchemist. Aside from that, I don't have that many. But yeah, you can recommend any.
Well, there's some really brilliant work by and animation by guys like Yuasa, Yuasa, or Satoshi Kon is my favorite.
Satoshi Kon?
Yeah. Kon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can find some of that stuff on like Netflix or the like. Prime, some of those channels. But they all relate, one another. And there's just some, and of course Kurosawa's films are heavily influential for a lot of animators. But Yuasa is a really interesting one because he allows the input from his animators so much that it changes. You can tell it's directed by him, but stylistically they change numerous times throughout the course of any given project because he allows the creative teams that he has working to really lean into their strengths. And you don't see that often in animation studios at all. Well, Phil, you could attest to that. They tend to be
Yeah, studios are pretty closed off. They just kind of do their thing, and yeah.
But take a look into Yuasa. I mean, his project. Yeah. Wow.
I might have seen some of it because I do like watching some anime. It's been a while, but if there's like some really good stuff people recommend, like I'll keep an eye out for it.
Well, Satoshi Kon
but
did.
That sounds. I think I might have seen something or something similar where it was like different stories and they're told in different styles, but they all connected.
Yeah.
I know Matrix, the animated shorts, they did something similar.
Well, there's a number of anthologies out there right now on Netflix, like Oats Studios has a number of different pieces in it that are short anthology stories. Cabinet of Curiosities with Benicio del Toro, and then you've got.
I was watching that actually.
Yeah, they're really, really scary.
They're good.
Gary was talking about them.
They're really good. And then you've got the ones that are put together by, I think it's Brian. No, it's the guy that did the Fincher. Fincher, I think, produces them. It's Oat Studio is produced by the guy that did District 9.
Oh, I like that one.
And then the Love, Death, Robots is a fantastic anthology series on Netflix. Fantastic. You were talking about Claws earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is beautiful. A beautiful project.
I was blown away the first. I mean, I saw the preview for it when they first announced it, and it looked so impressive, and I was like really anxious to see it, and I was like, oh, it'll probably look nice, but the story will probably be blah or bland, and it was just, I was so blown away by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of watch that every year now, actually, and it just came out in 2019, so it's But the last 2 years, I've made a point of actually watching it.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I forced the grandkids to watch it with Grandpa.
Yeah.
They're making a sequel to A Christmas Story right now.
Oh yeah, it's already done. It's out. They had the trailer for it today.
Yeah, Lori was saying she heard about it. Oh boy.
Okay. I don't know if that movie should be. I know it has a sequel and it's not very well done.
It's funny, sequels, you know. A lot of people dial into them, a lot of people don't. Like most people don't realize that Rocky Horror Picture Show had a sequel.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I had heard about that. Yeah. So I knew it had one. I just forget what it's called. So it's
that even existed.
Yeah, it's set in the 1980s. It's all about crass commercialism in malls. It's terrible.
I've not.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things.
Oh, Lainey wants to jump in.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'll bring her in 1 second. See if I can add. So click in. So, hello.
Hi, Lainey.
Hi. We can't hear your audio.
Oh, hey. Are you a model? I see your hair blowing in the wind.
I could do that, Frank. Look.
I tried. I can't.
Can you guys hear? Your audio's not coming through real good. I've got your.
Yeah, I can't hear you, but
I can't hear you real good.
Thank you for accepting me.
Oh, there you go.
I think we got you there.
Yeah. There's all these technical problems.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to this. Whoops.
Yeah. Oh, you're a cartoon now.
Yes, I'm a small YouTuber.
Is that one of your drawings that you're using?
I'm a cartoon too.
Ah, you have a cartoon also. 2 hours now.
It's hard. It breaks up a bit. It's hard to hear you. It keeps kind of breaking in and out, and there's like a bit of, yeah, it's hard to hear. Oh,
Well, I like that drawing.
Yeah.
get that better. Where are you from again?
Philippines.
On the Philippines. Okay.
One of my friends, he's half Philippine. The other half is Caucasian. Wait, maybe.
Message for Chris there from Adam.
What are you working on, Chris? Looks great,
Oh.
says Adam Lore.
This is the book that I've been posting on Instagram. This is the Village Haunted. I've got 12 pages posted now. And this page and the next one I'm doing, they're inserts between the chapters. The first chapter is a 6-page arc. And then comes this page. And then the second chapter is a 6-page arc. And this is, I'll show you quick. This is the last page that I just posted here.
Oh,
Hello.
are you going? Okay. Thanks for trying. I appreciate
You
it.
wanted to say hi.
It's nice
Hi,
to,
lady.
nice-
Nice seeing you.
I'm sorry the audio didn't work so good.
Maybe next time.
So that's the last page that I just did. And
She was pretty.
yeah, this
Oh,
is
sorry,
an ongoing thing.
Okay, so that's the latest one.
So the one that I'm working on now is the first insert, and then this is tracking Old Man McTavish. This is about the McTavishes and how they've been, with this town throughout history. And after the Old Man McTavish came home from the war and his mother had passed away, and he found out that he inherited the majority of the forest around the town. And so he starts the logging industry in this town. And it really isn't very exciting or scary at all, this page. But the whole point of this page is to establish an identifiable foundation and understanding of the town and the character. Mm-hmm. The majority of the other pages, like the last 6-page arc that I just did, that's here. This is the 6th page of the story, the second chapter, which focuses on 2 girls coming home from high school and getting scared by some disembodied voice calling their names. And so they run home frightened, and the whole day at high school, there's been crazy things happening. And so as they're trying to tell mom and dad this over dinner, well, dad starts throwing in ridiculous yarns about ghost stories and freaks the one girl out. So they gotta drive her home now. And as they're driving her home, on that page I just showed you, they drive by one of the characters that in an earlier story was supposed to have been disappeared from a ghost earlier in the day. Oh, and so there's a lot of this setups and drops throughout the whole story. Oh, that was very nice. Lindy said, thanks for accepting her in the live video. It was very nice to meet her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If that was her illustration for her, that circular illustration that had you come up, that's very good, maybe. So anyway, so I'm doing this page here is the insert telling you about Old Man McTavish, who owns what this image is here is the haunted cottage in the first 6-page arc. Well, this is when it was a nice house. Like when it was still a house that somebody lived in and had a farm on. But when we see it in the first story arc, and a little girl goes missing when they go inside of it, so all of it starts coming together. It's one of those, it's, pancake stories where all the information relates to all the information. So
yeah. And you said that this came from like a real experience your wife had?
when my wife was a little girl, she grew up in the country outside of London. And so her aunt lived down the street from them. So what happened is the family came over from Amsterdam immediately after the war, and they set up here in Ontario and bought a big farm, and the 7 kids, and they all worked this farm. But when they all moved out, they'd move like down the road, like down the country lane.
Okay.
But, my wife's dad he bought the 5 acres off the corner of the property and built his own house there, and for the family to grow up in. And he was a really talented carpenter. He still is. But her aunt, when she moved away, they just abandoned the house. They just left the house to fall to ruin. And so they'd ride down the street, like they'd ride down this country road on their bicycles and dare each other to go inside. And that just horrified her, because even though it was her aunt's old house, who knows what's in there? Who knows what's going on inside that thing? It could be full of ghosts and monsters. So that was part of the inspiration for the story.
Oh, okay. Unless you had an experience.
Well, it's the subjectiveness of the unknown is the most terrifying thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're a young person.
Oh, yeah. Or anything can scare you.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. Phil, Lanny said that she's going to invite you to her
Yeah, I'll
live
subscribe to
stream
your
and
YouTube
subscribe
channel.
to. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'll just subscribe to her too.
What's that, Frank? I'm sorry.
Sorry. I was clearing my throat. I'll have to subscribe to her as well.
Yeah.
What's her screen name again?
It's the same as in the chat
Laney.
here. Laney as his vlog.
Laney SS Vlog.
Yeah.
I
If
should
you
get
can
my
see her in the
tablet.
chat. That's her. I typed it in and it came right up.
Oh, cool. Let me grab my tablet.
Oh yeah, she's had. Oh wow, she's got 3,000 subscribers. She's doing all right.
Oh, wow.
Vlog.
I get used to. YouTube's done this big change on their channel layouts.
So is Instagram.
Oh, did Instagram change as well?
It did, yeah.
Did it? I haven't noticed a big change there yet, but I wouldn't be surprised though. I noticed that they changed the layout of their desktop page.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay, yeah, that's the one they just
Oh, okay.
The okay.
Oh, no wonder. I misspelled it.
Yeah, I wrote Lanny's name down
Oh,
so
I
I
see
can
her.
sign up afterwards. I'm not as coordinated as you techno marvels for figuring out how to do 2 things at once.
Oh, there, yeah.
I shall subscribe.
It's so bad, guys. When I have tried to look up, I just realized my name says Mr. Runson.
Oh,
Was it? Oh.
Oh yeah, I'm classy. I look like a bozo. Yeah, if I try to go over and look up like a resource image of some kind or something to reference against, I will get so discombobulated about what I've actually drawn up on my computer, like what image that I've pulled up, that if I try to click that thing off, I've clicked myself out of streams before.
Oh, whoops.
Right? I'm lousy with technology. I just am. And so because of that, I tend not to, I got to count on the old cabeza a lot here because if I try to look up, I need a picture of a goat, and suddenly Chris is out of the stream,
Do you know Halloween night? I opened up StreamYard and I got it linked up with OBS and got it clicked on, and I was like chatting away and chatting and talking, and I didn't realize that I hadn't even added myself to the chat.
Oh my!
I clicked on start broadcast, but I didn't. Down at the bottom, your thumbnail, you've got to add chat first, and then you click start broadcast. I didn't add myself, so it was this blank screen for like 5 minutes, apparently.
Oh boy! So you'd figure out all that eventually, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and I suddenly looked up on the screen. I thought, I added myself in. Oh my god! So I'm sitting here chatting, and
here's the secret of the universe. Pay close attention. Yeah,
I'm only gonna say this once.
Listen, I'm only gonna say this to you one time. Listen, this is the secret of life. Don't forget and remember that.
Hey, Adam. How's your love life?
What?
I was reading that was the title of one of Adam's stream 10 days ago. Philip was on there, and I was there. I see our names in the.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah. That was a good night, actually. Let's close that in there.
Oh, it looks like you're live from 3 weeks ago, Phil.
What's that?
Oh, possibly.
It still says live.
Oh, yeah, one of our Bloque episodes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at past stuff.
Just says his love life is flourishing.
Yeah.
Again, guys, I couldn't tell you. Adam Lore says his love life is flourishing. That's fantastic.
That's great. Tell us more, Adam.
Tell us more about it. If you could build a diorama out of Lego or something to illustrate the point.
Make it as a comment.
We'll wait. My favorite thing in the world is when somebody says, some sort of statement like how their love life is doing, or what's your home situation, or anything like that, and somebody does some sort of random, abstract start to this conversation where you're like, where is this going? It's like, how's your love life doing? Okay, so about the mating habits of the grizzly bear. Oh no. Where's this gonna, what's he about to tell me? This is, I had a conversation with somebody the other day about Bear Grylls, and it's this one of the student of mine. He's got this great notion about doing a another survival show, but it's just situations where you'll need to drink your urine, and it's entirely based on this Bear Grylls survival guy that always drinks his urine in these situations that he's in, trying to survive in an Arctic tundra or is trying to survive in some remote jungle. And he just seems to have this default switch that if you can't find drinkable water, you can use your own urine.
Well, I'll say they sell it in plastic bottles. You can find it almost anywhere. So.
What's that?
I mean, they sell water in plastic bottles. You can find them almost anywhere. You don't have to drink your urine.
Yeah, he's in the desert, but the presumption of this TV show idea, or we're going to look at doing these as comics, is like just one-page comic notions about an alternative show where, different locations where it's not always necessary to have to drink your urine.
Okay.
That's his notion for this comic page.
Okay.
And it's going to have this Bear Grylls character going around. Now this is the American Mall. Notice all the.
That was my first thought.
Notice the water
into a
fountains.
mall. So, yeah.
But if none of these things are working, here's what you do. I just love stuff like that. The more mental an idea can be, sometimes it's the more fun it is.
Did Adam build that diorama yet? Let me check.
It says his life is fluoride. No, flourishing.
Oh, okay.
His life is flourishing.
He's really big into toothpaste.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
That's at least two ways. That's at least two ways.
Ooh.
I'm good with my maths. I hope that when people look at this image, they're going to realize that I've tried to draw a sort of like one of these canopies around this bed. And they don't just look at it as some weird, goofy abstraction that's up there. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh,
I could save so much time when I'm drawing panels for books if I just, I didn't put so much detail in things that are going to be covered up by word balloons.
Yeah.
Did StreamYard change something? Because I used to be able to just click on the person I want to highlight. Like if I wanted to highlight your thing there, Chris, and have it, but so that we're still on the same screen. It used to. Oh, there we go. I drag it. That's what I've been trying to do all night. I couldn't. There we go.
Oh, that's neat.
That's what I'm trying to do, so you can see what you're working on.
Yeah, you could ask.
There you go. Some tunes going.
That's what happens. You put the camera on me directly. I'm going to dance.
I never know what you're going to get.
Gee, do I ever regret doing that? As soon as I put the camera on, I'm like, there, take a look at what he's talking about. Nah, the idiot starts dancing around like a goofball. Adam says, I never knew you could drag someone's screen. Good to know. Yeah, I didn't know that either, Adam.
I did, and I forgot. And I thought you clicked on it, but no, you just drag it over top of where you want it. So like if I wanted to highlight Brother Maple here, I could grab his and then drag it over top of Chris.
Has it always said Brother Maple?
When I came on, I put on Brother Maple right before I came on. Where's my maple jar? Well, I got my Maple card. There you go.
So because of these streaming platforms and because of these conference, the conference ability of these things, and the fact that office or work groups will get together on things like this and do conversations, you've always got to check your name or just leave it as, your own name, because all kinds of people in the early days of the pandemic were getting in trouble. One guy got in trouble at his job. He was telling me about it because he wrote, "I can't stop pooping" for his and then the next day he's working with his team online, and they keep chuckling at him because he has absolutely no idea that it still says "I can't stop pooping" on the screen. Eventually he gets fired because he was using background. Like once he started paying more attention to it, he'd have like backgrounds of the beach, and he got reprimanded, and eventually just that's enough. You can't behave yourself when you're not in an office environment.
Did he ever stop pooping?
It's a mystery we'll never know.
What's that?
It's a mystery we'll never know.
So yeah, and this is one where people that have tuned in at this point are like, "What the hell am I watching?" Is that 3 adult men saying pooping?
Why is this not? Having some little issues here with my tablet. I don't know if it's maybe everything going on, but it's getting some difficulty making strokes here unless I push and slow down. But if I go too fast, it's not making a line.
Is it in your art program?
Yeah. I've got Clip Studio open.
Are you running it on the same thing that you're running the stream on?
It's on the same computer, yeah.
Well, maybe it might have overtaxed your computer.
It might be. It may be.
I have to have YouTube and anything else for the most part. Well, except for Photoshop. But I have to have most things turned off. Or just not have a bunch of open screens or something. Just because it doesn't like it.
Right.
I don't like it. Computer said, "Nope, not going to do it."
Let's see if I go to illustration for new. Let's see what happens. It's the same thing.
You got to turn back time.
What are you saying, Frank?
Or if I could turn back time. I got that Cher song stuck in my head now.
You're singing what?
If I could turn back time. I can't remember the rest of the line, so I'm just like mumbling it.
I got it. I think it goes. That's it.
I think that's what it is. I liked her with that Sunny guy.
You like her with that voice? Or that Sunny guy?
When she was with Sunny, with her husband. What was that song they used to sing?
I got you, babe.
I was going to say, wasn't I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll, but that was Captain and Tennille.
Was it really?
Oh no, wait, that was country rock and roll song was Donnie Marie.
Oh yeah, it's even worse.
Oh,
Captain
yeah.
Tennille sang "Love, Love Will Keep Us Together."
Yeah.
That was theirs. I actually liked Captain Tennille. I remember watching that when I was little, and I liked their show. They had this goofy segment called the Bionic Watermelon. But for some reason, that stuck out in my head all these years, and I don't know why.
There's I don't know if you've ever watched Christopher Guest Comedy Troupe. They're the guys that did Waiting for Guffman and Best in Show.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but yeah, I've seen some of their stuff. Spinal Tap.
Well, so the guy that plays Guffman in Waiting for Guffman, he used to be on the Electric Company. He was the painter that was constantly trying to put a number 5 on something.
Oh, okay, all right.
And every time he'd put a stencil up on the door, a mighty wind. Yeah, Adam, that's another one. That's a good one. I just got my wife to watch that one. That was a great one. But he would put the stencil on the elevator doors, and then he'd lean over and he'd open the paint and he'd stir it and he'd turn around and look at it and where the hell's my stencil? Because every time the elevator doors were open, he couldn't figure out he'd go to paint and there's nothing there to paint.
Right.
And he'd go back and he'd pick up another stencil and go to put that on and turn around and the stencil would be back on the door again because, of course, the elevator's on another floor right now. And so he'd go to put the other stencil back. He'd put the brush in the paint, turn around, and the stencil's gone again. He'd make a white mark up somebody's face. And but it was the guy that plays Guffman in Waiting for Guffman.
Oh, is that right?
He's in every one of their films. He always plays some austere guy, but I mean, he was doing those things. I think it was 70s or 80s, and he was making guest appearances in these movies by these guys, by Spinal Tap.
Gosh darn it. Work.
Oh my god. What if I did this?
What's that?
Oh, this is driving me crazy that I can't. It's being difficult. And I don't know why. I'm going to try something here.
Okay, try setting it back to the three of us being the same size.
Oh, no, not. Oh, wasn't this. It's my.
No. But maybe by making it more simple.
Oh, I can
for
try.
this program, it might make your other. I don't know. This is how basic I am. I'm one step away from advising you. Just start clapping on the left side. Start clapping on the left side, Phil. Maybe that'll make it work better.
Yeah.
Stand up and turn around 3 times. Maybe the internet will work faster. All right, I'll try.
I can't even put it on the screen and show you because it wouldn't actually show. Because you can't see the pen touching the screen.
Tell it it's pretty, Phil.
Not ready to it and buy it a present.
Chris, your advice is crap. Take it out for dinner. Tell it it's the only drawing program for you.
I love you, Clip Studio. You will never leave me.
Clip Studio. I value you more than I did my ex-wife.
Somebody jumping in randomly here. It's like, are these guys drunk? What the?
I watched a blog show last night there and tried one of those things like you told me to there, Bob. These guys were talking about how much they love the program. Last time I do that ever.
A Mighty Wind. That was the name of the other one. Yeah. Is this the same guy? Did they do Spinal Tap?
They're the band in Spinal Tap.
Oh.
Rob Reiner did Spinal Tap.
Okay.
Rob Reiner, the guy that plays the interviewer,
Right.
he did Spinal Tap.
Okay. God, it has been so long since I've seen that film, and I have it somewhere on. I think I still have it. My
favorite
I used
joke, and
to
it's
have
still my blood pump. What's that?
I was sorry. I was just going to say I used to have quite a huge selection of DVDs, but they all kind of got ripped off.
Oh no!
I got stolen about that was 2014, 2015 in that range.
Frank.
Oh,
Yeah.
wasn't me. I know the feeling.
What, that stole my DVDs? No, I know
Yeah.
that. No, I know Frank. I was somebody who I had met through a small business program. I took the small business program when I was in London, and I was going to sell a few of them, but he wanted to
Test
I
them out
wrote
first.
a whole bunch to him. I had them in a bag because I was kind of going through and I was rearranging my living room a little bit, and I had them all in a bag. And some of them I was going to sell, and he asked if he could borrow a bunch. And we were pretty good friends. We hung out. We worked on we went through the small business program together. We had become pretty close friends at the time, and I loaned him the bag that had all of them. I says, "Well, go through, see what you're interested in." Some I told him some of them I'm going to keep, but and some of them he wanted to show. He had a kid, and after I loaned it to him, he completely dropped off the face of the earth.
I got the movies. Run!
Yeah, it was almost like that's what it was like. He completely he stopped. He stopped. Like I'd try phoning him and he never answered. I'd leave messages, never got back to me. Days, weeks went by, and it was just like he completely vanished.
You really wanted that copy of Transformers.
Actually, that's something I
It was
didn't have.
his plan all along.
But man, I was just
befriend this guy and take his movies.
It was just so weird that he.
You think that's weird? It's me.
I kind of did that to someone where I borrowed some of their movies, and I ended up having to go to the hospital, but they didn't know that, so all they knew is I just dropped off. And I got home.
Still never got my copy of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang back from Frank.
That might be one of them. Yeah, after I got home, I had messages on my answering machine, and I called them up like, "Hey, I'm back. I was in the hospital."
Oh, yeah, that's.
Oh, you were in the hospital, were you?
I think it was there for 2 weeks.
The messages get more and more extreme as it go, right?
Yeah. Hey, just wondering if you're done with that movie. Hey, it's been a couple of days. Are you still? Are you done with the movie yet? It's been 2 weeks, Frank.
It's been a month. I'm gonna burn your house down. Yeah, that last message I sent you. Just ignore that. That's I was joking. I'm not really gonna burn your house down. But if I could get my copy of the Apple Dumpling Gang back, that'd be great.
It's signed by Don Knotts.
I'm so happy that you guys know that.
I was just thinking, I wonder how many people actually even know what that film is.
Don Knotts and who?
Was it Tim Conway?
You're damn right it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they did that, and I remember they did this detective movie.
Oh yeah,
That was like a spoof of like Sherlock Holmes kind of thing. And I can't think of the name of it.
yeah. I can see the poster art, but I can't remember the name. Well, I got technology right here at my hands. Someone at the Toastmasters today mentioned Rodney Dangerfield, and
Hmm.
I knew who they were talking about, but he was saying like all the young people here probably don't know who that is. And I'm like, I know who he is.
Well, the young people don't know who he is because he gets no respect.
Yeah, that was the joke because the word of the day was respect, and no one said it. So he said, "This is the Rodney Dangerfield meeting because we got no respect."
He had so many ridiculous jokes too, eh?
Yeah,
What was it? In fact, every time I come home late from the bar, my wife turns the lights off and hope I've lost my key and I think she's not home or something like that. It's like no respect. You got no respect, Johnny. If you ever see
my wife
Rodney
and I
Dangerfield on a
we,
Johnny
we
Carson show, he
Oh
can't
yeah.
stop laughing the entire time Rodney's on.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever
oh the
see
movie's called
um,
Private Eyes with a
Private
Ted
Eyes?
Penny
That
and
was it. Yes. Yeah. Did you ever see Rover Dangerfield?
yes,
God.
I thought
I was actually surprised by that. The animation in that is actually really well done.
yeah.
The story is kind of basic, but it was. I remember surprised. I was remember like thinking I was going to hate it, and I was like, "This is actually really well done."
Robert Dangerfield.
Oh, yeah. Three things I'll never do it on a Christmas tree. A Christmas tree is safe from me.
Whatever happened to that guy? He should
What's
do more
that?
movies. That Rodney Dangerfield fella.
Oh, he passed away years ago.
Yeah, he died 10, 15 years. 10.
No,
Yeah.
I know exactly what. When I think it was right before the pandemic, I was going to a local trade school, and I said something and people didn't hear me, and so I was like, so I started doing my Rodney Dangerfield impressions, like no respect, no respect, I get no respect, and no one. People were just like kind of looking at me, and no one knew what I was talking about. I was like, don't you guys know the classics?
Poor kids. One of my favorite dumb jokes to tell people that
I can't even remember.
don't know a lot of the old guys like Johnny Carson.
Hmm.
Is my favorite joke he ever told on the Tonight Show was, all right, get this, okay? There's two rhinoceros, all right, two rhinoceros. Hottest period of the year, hottest day of the year, right in the center of Africa, okay? You follow me? And he'd say, so the one rhinoceros, now get this, the other rhinoceros, the two of them are in the middle of the lake, up to their neck in rank, tepid water, okay? Flies buzzing all around their heads, and the first rhinoceros looks to the second one, all right? You still with me? Get this. First rhinoceros says to the second one, can you believe it's a Thursday? That's my favorite Johnny Carson joke. And he even does it. He even goes, "Can you believe it's a Thursday?" All right, we got some great guests on tonight. But if you can imagine him telling that joke to Ed McMahon. Are you with me, Ed? Yes, Johnny. All right. Pay attention. Here we go. We're in the hottest day in Africa.
Adam has a
That's
fetus
a dude.
character who talks like Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh my God.
Adam. I was actually I actually saw the night it aired the famous Sis Boom Ba joke.
Yeah, same here.
I was watching it the night that aired. Yeah. We were killing ourselves laughing. Oh my God.
I used to stay up all hours to watch Johnny Carson.
Yep. Same here. When I was in London, we picked up Channel 43 from Cleveland.
UAB.
Yep. And of course, I'd watch Superhost every Saturday afternoon.
Host with the most.
And but at night, I would sit up and watch Sanford and Son and Benny Hill.
Oh yeah.
11 o'clock was Sanford and Son, and then Benny Hill at 11:30.
Benny Hill's hilarious.
Oh God, I used to laugh.
Because he was gay, right? Benny Hill was gay.
Oh, was he? See,
Yeah.
I heard some speculations, but I thought,
Oh no. He lived with his mom. He lived with his mother right up to her death.
is that right, eh?
Yeah.
I thought he lived by himself, but okay.
I lived with my mother up to her death.
Died, right? And then he lived by himself.
Oh, for heaven's sakes!
But the perpetual Lothario
I lived by myself.
was a gay man that what's that, Frank?
I was like, I lived with my mom up till she died. Like, I live by myself. What are you trying to say, Chris?
Do you chase girls around your building and the bus stop and things like this?
Well, I make sure I have a theme song first. I didn't know he was gay. Wow. So that was the joke, that he was a gay man, but he would chase the women.
That's how he got away with a lot of his lewdish behavior. And
okay.
Because it was harmless.
I mean, it makes sense.
We built an island in our kitchen, and
chase your wife around the island.
I asked Lori if I could chase her around it like Benny Hill, and she just went, "No."
I'm not revealing anything, Adam. I'm responding to these accusations.
Outhouse.
Oh, I forgot it was showing mine here too. Oops.
Time is it? 12:40.
40. Yeah, I'm supposed to phone my friend back.
I'm reading some Johnny Carson jokes. I'm just cracking up.
Well, I think I got going within 20 minutes here.
Okay.
Well, if I don't, right?
7 is on.
That pumpkin's gonna switch out.
Hello, 7.
Oh, 7.
Maybe
You're
7
right.
wants to come in.
7 sent me some really cool fan art the other day, and I think, yes, I have it here on my tablet. So he, and I was going to post this on Instagram later today. But he drew Captain Goggles and Masked Woman.
Oh, wow.
And
Very
Captain
nice.
is shirtless.
Hold on, let me see if I can bring that up.
Oh, cool.
Jeez.
Mm.
Good.
That's
So that was
pretty awesome.
7 that did that?
Yeah, he
Wow,
sent me
nice-
some
job.
some fan art before of Masked Woman and of Captain Goggles separately. This is the first one where they're together. So they do really great work, and this is David from the Bible.
Oh, oops.
Yeah.
Can't,
So yeah. So those are the newest ones he sent me, or they sent me. Oh, I just found the Masked Woman. Yeah.
Oh, it's Mask Woman. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you got fan art of your characters now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And I've posted these on Instagram before. I haven't posted the newer one yet, but. Yeah, I've actually gotten a few fan art.
Yeah, I did one too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chris did
Yeah.
some sketch
No.
cards.
I gotta mail them. I still gotta mail them. There's my Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Look at that.
Yeah.
Actually, I could zoom that in a bit more. Oh,
Damn, wrote to Frank.
yeah,
Still haven't mailed them. Sorry, Frank.
it's stuck on me here.
I promise I will. And I'll send it to you soon, but boy, my pigeon just got back from Cleveland and his arms are tired.
Well, yeah. Take my wife, please.
Do you remember whenever a joke kind of wasn't going over well for Johnny Carson, he'd say something like,
Oh,
"May the fleas of 1,000 camels infest your armpits."
one of my favorite Rodney Dangerfield's. What is it? I told my wife tonight I almost got into an accident on the road. She said, "Why didn't you?" Slipped on ice the other winter. I caught myself before I fell. She said, "What stopped you?" I said, "I did it." She said, "Why?" It just would never stop.
Well, last week I came from the doctor. I told you guys I did a stream where he said I had high blood, a high sugar count, and I said, "Well, can I get
yeah.
opinion?" He said, "Well, you're ugly too," and I might have to switch in insurance.
Mother kept telling me, "Why couldn't you be more like your cousin Melissa? Why couldn't you be more like your cousin Melissa?" My cousin Melissa died at birth. Right like that one.
You broke Frank.
That's not where I thought you were going with that joke. I was like, well, now I'm a cross dresser.
I went to Adam Lord just said, I went to my doctor and he said, open your mouth and say oink.
Wow.
He's not a very good doctor.
So, do you know that whenever Dave Letterman would tell a joke in his opening monologue and he'd do like a golf swing?
Yeah.
That's because that joke was personally sent to him that day by Johnny Carson.
But Johnny Carson.
Okay, all right.
That's a joke that Johnny Carson wrote that day and mailed to Dave. And every time Johnny would write a joke and send it to Dave, Dave would do it on the show. Every time.
Oh, wow.
He said there isn't a single time that Johnny sent him a joke that he didn't use it. but he'd always do the golf swing in order to show. There you go, Johnny.
Oh,
There's your joke.
that's where it came from.
Yeah. You know who my favorite person on the Dave Letterman show was?
Hmm?
Do you remember Larry Bud Melman?
Yeah,
Oh, that rings a bell. Who was that?
I remember.
was-
yeah.
So he would do this. You go, okay, Larry, you wanna ask the young lady there what she thinks about the event that or he'd go to the bus station and say, what do you how eventful, how monumental is it for this girl to come in on the bus to New York City? And you go, how eventful is it for you to come into the bus to New York City? And as soon as she'd start talking, go, And so the whole time she's talking, he's got the mic at his face. And then when he'd ask her a question, he'd go, so where'd you come in from? Did you come in from, Poughkeepsie or nothing along that? And then as soon as she started answering, she goes, well, I came in from he held the mic over here again, and she's answering him again. And David loses his mind in the studio laughing because it's the worst possible interview you've ever seen. It's great. So great. What do you think of that, Larry? And Larry Bud Melman, everybody. What do you think of that, Larry? And the side camera would pan over to Larry just standing in the doorway, and he'd go, ah!
Oh, he's that short, fat guy, wasn't
The
it?
short fat guy. And Dave would go,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
Larry,
okay,
let's-
now I remember who he is.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
So
yeah.
Dave got this. Ugh. Whenever a joke didn't land, he'd go, ugh. That's a Johnny Carson thing. And the golf swing is a Johnny Carson thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing that Dave would do is he'd wrap the cards on the table and he'd go, he'd flick his bottom teeth with his tongue. Yeah, you go.
I do that a lot, and now that I think of it, it might be something I picked up from Dave Letterman because I was a huge Dave Letterman fan.
I always like this. I always like this too, where you go, well, Paul, what do you think on this? He goes, yeah, I think that's great, Dave. And he'd slam his face into the microphone. It just, what do you think of that? Yeah, Dave, that's great. Didn't matter what David said. He goes, okay, well, Paul agrees. This might be the worst show we've ever had. What do you think of that, Paul? And he goes, yeah, that's great, Dave. Never listening to him.
There was a bit he used to do that he would call up the phone booth, and so one time a guy answered, and he's like, Mr. Gotti says, get in the car, and the guy drops the phone and runs.
I forgot about that. I forgot all about that.
It's a shame they had a falling out, those two. It always disappointed me.
Who's that?
Oh,
Letterman and Schaefer? Oh, Carson.
Sorry, I was thinking back to Carson for Letterman and Carson.
They never had a
Oh, I
falling
didn't
out.
know they had a falling out.
I thought they did. There was some issue
No.
with the time slots or something like that. I don't know. There was some sort of falling out. I could be wrong, but I thought there was.
No,
I
Dave
thought it
was
was with
supposed
Leno.
to take over. It was Dave and Jay Leno. Huge falling out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dave
right.
was supposed to take over the Tonight Show,
Yeah.
Right.
and they gave it to Jay Leno instead.
Mm.
So
And then Conan O'Brien was going to take over Jay Leno, and then Jay Leno said, I want my show back.
Remember that? Yeah.
They were just laughing and laughing because, like, that's the Jay I know.
you ever watch Norm Macdonald's shows?
Oh, yeah.
Those are the best.
Norm
Norm
McDonald's one of my favorite comedians next to Dave Letterman.
He'd always write the most awkward joke. Now, and he'd blame it on whoever that young man that was his co-host.
Yes.
Now, here's a joke that
then
you wrote earlier today, and I'm telling you, I don't want to read this one. And he'd give it to the guest,
Yeah.
and the guest would look at it and go, I'm not going to read this. Kind of, yeah, it's a joke. Just kind of, nobody watches this show. And he tried to convince him to read a joke by telling him that no one watches his show. Oh, Adam Egret, like the bird. Yeah, that's. Thank you, Adam. I can't believe you wrote this. And meanwhile, it's Norm's joke. Norm wrote it. Did you ever see the special where Norm talks for 25 minutes about serial killing?
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, he's talking about the comedian serial killer and how people like don't never suspected him. I was like, really? They never suspected everywhere he went, someone would get murdered. Something like that.
Well, he did the one special where he talks about the short-sightedness of serial killers that always makes them end up getting caught, right? And it's the short-sightedness is, and he starts, and so rather than just go to the direct line, he talks for 20 minutes about the process of, first they got to say, well, there's something inside me that I'm internally motivated in order to slaughter and do kinds of awkward, inappropriate things to other human beings, and I feel that's my prerogative. He goes through this whole 20-minute long explanation about this lady Florence. She's just a nice waitress in a small town, and he just meets her up at the counter one day. Goes through the whole process, and he only puts her in 3 feet in the ground. And and he talks about all this preparation and planning and all this horrible aspects of it. And the punchline is basically, dig a deep hole. If you're going to go through all of that, I mean, dig them deep. That's all I'm saying. Who does that? It's this awkward. The audience is sitting through all kinds of awkward, terrible aspects of serial killing crime. Oh, Seven. There's a nice comment from Seven, Phil.
Godzilla. Oh, yes, another one. Another fan I brought back into the fold.
You guys are going to put Godzilla in your comics. You're going to need huge paper.
You got to be careful though where you let that be seen, because Toho is incredibly protective of that. They're as bad as like somebody drawing Mickey Mouse on something and Disney like jumping ropes. Toho is just like, if you put Godzilla on something out there anywhere, they are all over you. They will call up their lawyers. You'll get a cease and desist letter. You will just,
oh boy,
holy geez, Toho was just so, yeah.
So you're saying that the big reveal conclusion of this current book that I'm working on about the same-sex relationship between Mickey Mouse and Godzilla is ill-advised?
Uh-oh, yeah. that could be problematic.
Maybe by using both of those licensed characters, they'll cancel each other out.
Yeah, good luck with that, Chris.
We're in camera, and I just said that. Yeah, I think it might be time for me to take my bow. And on that note, kids, don't forget to drink your Ovaltine. Yeah, Ricky Rouse has got a gun is a fantastic comic about a person at a tourist vacation world there who has a breakdown and runs through the tourist vacation world, this character Ricky Rouse, and attacking people. And Oh yeah, that one. That was close. Ricky Rouse has got a gun.
Ricky's got a gun. Oh, that's Jim.
Yeah, it was the inspiration for that song, Frank.
Really?
No. No, that was. You guys get to,
What are you
you get to
talking
tell
about?
people that we talked to online here. Did you hear Chris singing Cher? He's really great. It's like he's channeling her from the grave.
Man, she's not dead yet.
Yeah.
That's right. Emphasis on yet.
Yeah.
So far, there were 2 dates in London. But I'll get her.
One of my villains I drew a while ago, Captain Bluefin.
What's that?
Oh, one of my villains for this story, Captain Bluefin, I designed a while ago. He's missing one fin and has a paddle for a fin.
Paddle. Okay. I like that.
So, you know what a blue flame is?
Blue Flame?
Yeah.
Who? No, I don't think I've heard
A
of it.
blue flame. Now, this might be just a particular thing amongst the moronic people that I know, but this one guy I knew growing up, and let's bear in mind the level of sophistication that most young men have. He thought it was an absolute riot in order to light his own flatulence.
Oh,
okay.
And he called him a blue flame. So we're all invited to his house, and he lives in a small town outside of London. He moved there, and so, a bunch of us were invited to come out and see his new place, and so he didn't feel so isolated.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's walking us around this small town that has nothing going on in it. And, it's a very small town. And we buy some pop and chips at the variety store that closed at 8:30 at night. And we go back to his place, and we're drinking copious amounts of pop and chips and eating lots of chips. And he shows us how he can light his own flatulence. And of course, this is in the 80s where, people are wearing like Adidas shorts and stuff like that. And he says, it's a blue flame. And then he proceeds to set his legs on fire because he's a hairy guy. And normally he would do this wearing jeans or something.
Oh my God.
But he lit his legs on fire because he had hairy legs. And so I watched him dancing around his living room. His house just stank of burnt hair. Immediately, his mom came out. She gave us all hell. And, of course, we're not going to rat our friend out and say, well, your son just lit his ass on fire, But I'll never forget that. I'll never forget blue.
Why did you light my son on fire, Chris?
Well, it's good to have objectives.
I had a goal.
Goals are important, Frank. Goals are important.
Yes.
And on that note, folks,
I had my head out too.
I'm going to go try it off camera.
Yeah,
The moment he's
I
off
my
camera.
lighter. I got my lighter here, and I think it does have a blue.
Oh, I missed.
Oh my God, that's fantastic, Seven.
It does have a blue flame.
Seven says his friend did it and lit his back on fire at a bar. Did that
Sorry.
start with this is going to impress all the ladies in the room?
Yeah.
Probably.
Kenny versus Spenny, Canadian show, use the term blue flame. Oh yeah, no, it's a Canadian thing. That's all Canadians. It gets cold up here. It's cold here, Adam. Well, sometimes you got to stay
There's
sunburned.
not a lot of stuff for entertainment, so you gotta make your own.
Phil can attest to this. Fred thinks it's people wearing balaclavas and mucklucks and big mittens. So we go down on our toboggans.
Don't you?
Light and blue flames.
Down
Visual for the ages. A visual for the ages, everyone. And with that, I managed to finish this page, gentlemen. Thank you. You got me through this page, so
Oh, there you go.
yeah, it's been really great hanging out. Thanks for inviting me, Phil.
Oh God, yeah, anytime, Chris. It's fun to have you on.
A
I'm
classier,
glad you came in.
a classier cast of sophisticates I could not imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys can be here. I like I said, it was originally tonight was supposed to be our art block show, which is kind of like our version of Artcasters, I guess. And
Canadian
Vince,
orchestras.
yeah, and well, no, the other two guys are American, so but that they had to cancel out tonight. So, but yeah, I just thought I'd kind of come in and do a live anyways, just to see how it goes. So actually, I'm glad. It's been a good night.
Yeah.
We had a guy born in Texas, and then we had a guy who lives in Texas,
Oh, there we go.
and then a guy who was lived in London when he was young, and a guy who lives in London.
I
And a
actually
lady in the
lived in
Philippines,
London
very
almost half my life. I
What about the other half?
Well, then he's like, I'm too good for London, la-di-da. I'm just joking.
You're tired, aren't you?
All right, guys, I gotta go. My Rod Stewart album just finished, and I don't want to get up to flip the tape.
Okay. But shit, I missed what you said at the end there.
I said
Sort of went out.
this side of my Rod Stewart album just ended, and I don't want to get up to flip the tape.
Oh.
You old farts. All
Right.
night, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Chris. We'll probably talk to you tomorrow at some point, but take care.
Take care,
Yeah.
gang. Thanks
Bye,
again.
Chris.
Good night.
I'm gonna head out too.
Oh yeah, okay. Sounds good. I'll probably call it a night myself at this point. So,
All right.
but I'm glad you came in, Frank. Thanks for coming and joining us. I'm
Yeah,
glad
no
to be
problem.
here. Always fun to have you guys on. So,
Yeah, it was good. I had just gotten back from church, and I was just checking a video anyway, and oh hey, everyone's on. So I hop on.
I wanted to ask super quick. I hadn't seen Josh on for quite a while. Unless I've just been missing him. I don't know, but I mean, I don't. Unless he's just been busy. But he used to do quite regular live streams, and I hadn't seen him in a while. So I just wondered if he's okay.
Yeah, I think he. I know that he gets busy and stuff, but I know he's been posting up past streams as YouTube shorts. So I know he posted one up today.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. It's just been.
And I think he might have streamed maybe a couple of weeks ago. So I think some of those are from that one. Because Corey was on there, and it's been a while since I've seen Corey and Josh.
Yeah.
Aside from the Artcasters.
Yeah. Okay. I just wondered if maybe you could talk to him also. Anywho, I'll let you go, and I'm gonna probably save this program and crash myself. So.
Yeah.
All right, Captain Goggles. We'll see you again soon.
We'll meet again.
All right. Have a good night. And I am calling it a night myself. Thanks, Seven. You too. You take care. Seven, Adam, you guys have a good night. I'm going to close her off as well. So I'll, whoops. What'd I do? Okay. All right. Take care, guys. You too. Have a good night.